Hello everyone and welcome to the Setting Purple Sectors event hosted by myself, Chris McCarthy. It is a huge privilege to be able to host this event with the Young Epilepsy Charity. We are here tonight raising money and awareness for the Young Epilepsy Charity. We're going to be doing a 2-hour endurance race at Donington Park National in Formula 4 cars. We've got 15 teams of 4 drivers in each. You're going to recognise many of the team leaders. We've got British Touring Car champions, Formula 2 drivers, Formula 3 drivers as well. The grid is absolutely packed with talented drivers, broadcasters and influence as well. It's a huge privilege to welcome you to this unique event combining motorsport and epilepsy together for the very first time, and we're also going to be giving away some superb prizes. Thank you very much for your company and being part of this unique event. Let's go now together and set some purple sectors for young epilepsy.
Welcome to Setting Purple Sectors, an exciting esports event featuring some of your favourite faces from across the motorsport world. You join us here at Simply Race in Milton Keynes, where 60 individuals are about to battle it out on track, all whilst raising money for Young Epilepsy, an incredible charity which helps support those children and young people living in the UK with epilepsy. My name is Izzy Browning. I will be your host for the event tonight, and I am joined alongside me by Chaz Draycott in the commentary box and Piers Pryor, who will be getting all the reaction throughout the night. And you hopefully will have noticed that there are 2 more people alongside me. First of all, we have Chris McCarthy, the mastermind behind tonight's event, and Erin, one of our Young Epilepsy Youth Voice Network individuals. Chris, I'm going to come to you first. This is an incredible event. There is a real buzz around it. Just tell us why we're here tonight.
Well, yeah, thank you, Izzy, for being here, and thank you to everyone who has turned up. I mean, behind the camera we have a huge amount of people who have turned out for this event. This event started as an idea back in April, maybe even earlier, with an idea. I went to the Young Epilepsy Charity. Let's throw a race, an esports race where we can give people with epilepsy the chance to race against their heroes. That was the initial idea for the event. I used to race myself as an individual when I was younger, and unfortunately I couldn't race anymore due to being diagnosed with epilepsy, and was unfortunately restricted from continuing down that career path, but managed to find a way through broadcasting, and that gave me a new career path within the sport and gave me the chance to continue, which was fantastic. So that was something we wanted to include within this event. But I think my journey with this event started back when I was diagnosed, when I was 17 years old, to be honest, when my time in the sport came to a very abrupt end. Everyone has their own relationship with epilepsy. Mine gave me, restricted me my dream of becoming a racing driver, but I managed to find a passion within motorsport. And what I've found working with young epilepsy, bringing them into the sport, is that people tend to shy away from wanting to get involved in motorsport if they have epilepsy, and that's understandable. But what we want to do with this event is try and show inclusion, that we're a sport that are open to bringing people with epilepsy in, that they can compete, as we've seen tonight, with British Touring Car champions, Formula 2 championship contenders, race winners, big influencers and broadcasters, and they can go shoulder to shoulder, quite literally, with them this evening and race. And also there are career paths they can take within the sport, like myself and you do, like the guys who are putting this fantastic broadcast together and also this event together. So that's what we want to do, really, with this event. And I can't believe how many people have shown up, to be honest. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, there is a real buzz around the venue. And I mean, just to kick off this event, we have just had MSI have gifted £5,000 to Young Epilepsy, the charity that we're all here for tonight. So I think we can hear a little bit more about them.
A massive thank you goes out to MSI for sponsoring today's charity stream. If you're interested in checking out MSI's Black Friday offers, just scan the QR code that's on screen or follow the link in the description as well. You can find incredible discounts on their latest monitors, including their QD OLEDs and all of their components as well. Thanks once again to MSI for sponsoring.
Well, a fantastic way to start off tonight's event. As I mentioned, of course, we have one of our Young Epilepsy Youth Voice Network individuals alongside us, Erin. Erin, you've got a fantastic story about how you became involved with the charity, and it actually involves this guy here. So just tell us how you became involved.
So my mum was actually listening to yourself on the radio, and she rang me. I was just going about my day and I was like, oh my God, Erin, there's a motorsport guy, he's got epilepsy on the radio, you need to turn it on, you need to watch it and listen to it. So I did, and I was just blown away by his story, and it was sort of like a nice connection, obviously not as a higher level as yourself, but yeah, so I just dropped him a message and I was just like, so inspiring, and then here I am now wearing a t-shirt and getting involved in this lovely charity and event.
And here you are now, and you're actually about to race as well. So how much sim experience have we had? Are we feeling confident?
None at all. I went go-karting a few years ago. Didn't go well at all, but I tried the sim race. Didn't necessarily go any better. But we've got to have a bit of a practice. So it's going to be good, but I've not got my hopes up at all.
And you're a big motorsport fan as well. I mean, I believe you're a Ferrari fan, so that's really exciting to be able to come and race alongside people who are so involved in motorsport.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a Ferrari fan, and I sort of always have been. So it's gonna be good to meet other people who have got epilepsy, which I've already done, and also be in the motorsport world, especially other females as well, which is a really good connection to have.
Well, we're very grateful for you being here, and we are actually going to let you go off and have a little bit of a practice now. So thank you so much for joining us, Erin. And we can now bring in one of our team leaders for the night. We have, I think, joining us just now. Oh, we've got another one of our members just quickly joining us. Jimmy, do you want to come in and have a little bit of a chat with us? Yeah, Jimmy didn't want to sit down. That's okay. Jimmy Broadbent, you are obviously sim racer turned real world racing driver. I mean, this is kind of going back to your roots a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, dark room, sweaty men. I love it. That's pretty much what sim racing is. But it's great to be here. My first time at Simply Race. So what a time to have a debut.
And just tell us what you've been up to, because you've been quite busy this year. Of course, you've been racing in endurance series in the Nürburgring and just quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome to have so much to do. I mean, the main program for us has been running NLS in Germany, as you say, in the BMW M4 GT4. We've won 3 races over there this year. What else have we done? Other things. It's gone pretty well for us. Also, took part in the 24 Hours of Barcelona in an old M3, so and some historic stuff as well with Alex Brundle. So it's been busy, but the sim's always where I end up at the end of the evening, so it's just like home.
Alex Brundle, exactly. Did you think that you would ever be rubbing shoulders with Alex Brundle?
No, but he's pretty normal.
All right, well, fantastic to hear from Jimmy Broadbent, and now we're going to have a little bit of a tour of the venue with Piers Pryor.
Everyone, yes, we're at Simply Race, and I thought I'd give you the full experience of what it's like to be a member here, because I know a lot of you would like to potentially have been here, but you're going to be watching to the live stream. Of course, today's Setting Purple Sectors event supports the Young Epilepsy charity, and this is Simply Race. If you haven't been here before, we're in Milton Keynes, a wonderful simulator venue with 15 simulators, all triple screens. Of course, a nice entry here, and then we have the main simulator venue itself, and you'll see it's very busy in here this evening. We have over 60 drivers this evening. And the simulator on the right-hand side here, if we can, sorry guys, we are to just squeeze in here. And I thought I'd just give you a show of some of the simulators. Most of them have triple screens, but this one here, Will Dendy's racing team, which is the Young Epilepsy team itself in simulator number 1, has a nice ultra-wide 49-inch MSI monitor. Of course, you heard from Izzy just a moment ago. MSI have been kind enough to sponsor this event, both in monetary terms and also providing a monitor for that. So that's a very cool thing to have. And then, of course, the rest of the other 14 simulators, triple screens, force feedback steering wheels, great pedals, and of all the teams, we have some amazing drivers as well. I want to talk you through some of the drivers we have here as we make our way through the very crowded area here at Simply Race. You look around the room, a lot of faces you may recognise, and we'll be chatting with a lot of them throughout the evening. In no particular, well, I say no particular order. In alphabetical order, Amber Jones is in pod number 3 and her team. Amber Jones, of course, a presenter. You will have heard her on things such as WTF1 and many, many other things. She was also part of Formula Santander. And also, she's a big advocate for women in motorsport and does media training. In pod number 8, we have Antonia Rankin. She's an online figure, especially on TikTok, very popular on there, giving lots of people insights into the Formula One world, and has also started her presenting career as well in GTs. We then have Cameron Dass in pod number 4 over here, still racing driver to a certain extent, but most well known these days for his YouTube content, especially the YouTube shorts. He does a lot of karting content. He's very popular. Then we have Christian Mansell, Formula 3 and now Formula 2 driver. Of course, this year in Formula 3 had 1 pole, 5 podiums with ART, and is going to be racing. It has been racing with Formula 2 in Trident. Then over after him, Chris McCarthy, not going to be racing today. We just heard from him. It's great having him on this event. He's been one of the people that have put this event together, and without him, we probably wouldn't be here. So massive thank you to Chris McCarthy. Colin Turkington, a name synonymous with British motorsport, the Northern Irish driver, raced in the British Touring Car Championship, I think since 2002. Him and his son are here this evening. His son's not driving, caught up with them earlier. Hopefully we'll chat to them later. Gordy Much, who actually has worked here at Simply Race before, British GT driver. We've also got Harry Benjamin, the Sky Sports F1 commentator on and BBC 5 Live. Isaac Hadjar, the French driver who came 5th in Formula 2. Formula 3 in 2022, and this year's race in Formula 2. Currently sits 2nd in the championship, so potential, who knows, Formula 1 driver of the future. I hear he's actually testing the simulator in the Red Bull factory tomorrow, potentially. So getting a little bit of extra practice in here at Simply Race. A lot of drivers at the moment, if we just have a peer in, getting their practice in before the race starts at just about 7:30. Chaz Draycott will be talking you through all the race, giving you all the action, but until then, drivers just getting some practice. Of course, 4 drivers per team. The team captains, which I'm still running through, but also 3 members who are paid to be here, donated to the charity. They may be professional sim racers, or they may have never been on a sim before, so that's going to make it entertaining to watch. Jimmy Broadbent is here as well. Great to have him. He's a very big figure, 952,000 YouTube subscribers, and very well known in the sim racing space and motorsport space. Joseph Loke, Formula 3 driver. Mike Epps is driver coach in GB3 and in Formula 3. Tom Brooks, Gran Turismo Academy, voice of Gran Turismo Academy and voice of Gran Turismo, and also does lots of commentating British Superbikes, among other things. Tom Gaymore as well, who commentates on IndyCar, Eurosport, many, many other things. He's in spot number 7 over here somewhere. I don't know if Tom in the background there in the glasses. You can see him in the back. You'll definitely recognise his voice if you've listened to a lot of motorsport over the years. Will Dendy, who is part of the Young Epilepsy team. And we also have Zach O'Sullivan, of course, Williams Academy driver. Let's see if we can wander over here, see if we can find any of those faces that I've just mentioned. Of course, those are the team captains we've got. Great to have so many faces that you might recognise in the world of motorsport and also just internet as well. But we're raising money and awareness for young epilepsy, of course. The Setting Purple Sectors event is the main goal. The main goal of the Setting Purple Sectors event is to raise money and awareness for that. And you can donate throughout the event. Of course, in the description of this very YouTube video right now is a link to Tiltify, which is the hub where all of the donations can be made. Please do, if you can, you're able to donate to young epilepsy throughout this event. It's an amazing charity that raises awareness and provides training for education of employers and schools to help young people with epilepsy so they feel more integrated in society. And one way that you can donate is just by clicking that link, following the donate link. But also we have some amazing auction items here. Mike Epps is one of the drivers I mentioned. He's put up some merchandise. We've also got some amazing bespoke artwork. Some of these pieces worth up to $1,500. We've also got Roman Belinsky's race suit over here, who is unfortunately he would like to have been here. This on the left-hand side, Roman Belinsky's race suit, actual worn race suit. Also some underwear from Isaac Hadjar that was actually raced when he was racing. Loads and loads of different things. All of the auction items are up on that Tiltify link. You can have a look at that. The auction is open until Sunday evening, so you don't have to bid this evening if you don't want to. But I think one of the main things that people are going to be interested in bidding in is this very simulator to my left-hand side, pod number 15, which actually is Team Team Tom Brooks, this simulator, you see the balloons around the outside, that is because this is up for bidding. You can actually win this very simulator, and it's signed by every single one of those team captains. So Amber Jones, Antonio Rankin, Cameron Das, Christian Mansell, Colin Turkington, Gordy March, all the ones I mentioned before. That is all their signatures. That will be lacquered on there. It will be available for auction. So, you know, you might be able to pick up a simulator worth, you know, up to and maybe above 1,500 quid available there. Another way you can also get involved, both engaging in this amazing event, put on Setting Purple Sectors event, is via that Tiltify link. I'm going to be being a bit of a nuisance to some of the team captains around this evening. We've got some challenges for them. Via that Tiltify link, have a look, and some polls will pop up every now and again. And you'll be able to vote on who and what challenges some of these team captains will have to do while they are driving. That'll be very good to get involved with. Basically, you can vote by making a minimum donation of £1 to try and, if you want one of the team captains to do a certain thing, I think there might be some potential singing or some disruption to their driving, which would be very entertaining to watch, and you can maybe get involved with your favourite people to watch. And then we've mentioned the auctions already. So that is pretty much the event. You're watching the show right now. If you want to just watch the race, which is going to be going on throughout the evening from 7:30. Chaz Draycott's going to be commentating on that. There is also a link in the description of this video, and also all of the links to Tiltify and also to the polls and anything is in the side, in the top pins in the top of the live chat. So have a look at that. I'm going to see if I can grab a word with some of the drivers just before they head and towards the end of their practice session. Guys, who are you? Who are you racing with?
I'm not actually racing for anyone, I'm just here as a spectator, but I'm really pleased to be back here tonight to watch these drivers of some degree racing for this particular charity of young epilepsy, and I'm wishing them all the best. But regardless of where they finish tonight, the most important thing is to raise as much money as possible for a brilliant charity like Young Epilepsy.
Absolutely. Could not have said it better myself. Thank you so much for coming after my job in a couple of years' time. Let's wander through and let's see if I can grab a team captain. Why don't I grab Tom Gaymore? Tom, will we have a quick word just before the end of practice? Tom, we're going to try and grab a word with all the team captains this evening. Of course, normally you're the other side of the steering wheel, commentating these days, but you have driven in the past. How's practice been going for your team? What are your chances of doing well?
Now I'm definitely the yam. That's the polite way of putting it. And I think there's a vast spectrum of performance in our team. We've got two really quick people, and then we've got myself and Nelly. We've got Team IndyCar at Sky, sort of the handbrake on at the moment, but we've been in the car and not gone particularly well.
So there's an uphill challenge for you guys, but we'll keep an eye on you. Tom, thanks very much for chatting to us. We're going to head up and hear about some of the impact the Young Epilepsy charity has, and we're going to hear from Tyler, who's a young person who suffers with epilepsy. Let's hear his story.
My seizures are really scary.
Tyler was born with cerebral palsy. He also has global delay, ADHD, and scoliosis. It's Tyler's epilepsy that petrifies us the most. Our world can flip upside down in an instant. His seizures are long and very aggressive. He suffers hallucinations and is often very sick. There have been a few times where Tyler's been hospitalized. We are a strong family, but it's Tyler's epilepsy that makes us feel very powerless. Treatments for childhood epilepsy are a lifeline. They give us back a level of control over our lives. They are our security blanket. The work Young Epilepsy are doing to improve treatments for children with epilepsy is life-changing. Medication helps me keep him safe, and that fills us with hope for families like ours.
Helps me do the things I love.
With your support, Young Epilepsy can continue to help young people living with epilepsy to live safer, healthier, and happier lives. Join us because together we create possible.
Well, welcome back to the studio. I am delighted to say that I still have Chris McCarthy alongside me, but now we're going to welcome in another one of our special guests. We have Formula 2 driver Christian Mansell. Christian, come and join us. Come take a seat in the hot seat for the first time tonight. First of all, how are you?
Good, very good to be here.
Very good to have you here as well. I mean, let's just talk a little bit about your season. Obviously, you started off the season as an F3 driver. You're now finishing the season as an F2 driver. So just tell me about your season and that step up to Formula 2.
Oh, how times change in 9 months of racing. Look, no, it's been awesome. Obviously, 5th in the World Championship in F3, which is amazing. Battled with some really talented blokes there, and honestly, I couldn't have wished for a better season. Myself and our team, we really did give it everything. We threw everything at the Premas and the Tritons this year. Obviously, yet again, they were in another league of their own, which, fair enough to them. They've worked as hard as we have, and I've tried to work even harder, but no, we've done really, really well. I mean, to come from where we were last year as a team globally, ART, and to now perform at this level for so long, it's been a real big privilege. And obviously then making the step up to Formula 2, which was, in a way, unexpected, but also expected. I would have liked to obviously come away from Monza with teams being interested in me, of course, but one team was very interested in me, and that happened to be Trident. And I've known Giacomo Ricci for a long time, who is a team manager at Trident, and we wanted to work together for quite a while, and it came up, and it came well. I mean, Baku was extremely, extremely awesome. I mean, double points on debut, and starting from pole in my first ever race was a little bit daunting, but no, I loved it.
And I'm sure a lot of teams are going to be interested in you now, having had that debut weekend in Baku. I mean, you touched on it there. Points in both races on the first weekend. It was something of a stellar debut, wasn't it?
Very much so. I honestly think, myself, Gabrielle, and Luke, we did an awesome job that weekend. We really showed the caliber of this year's Formula 3, how high we, are able to perform, and go into other categories, higher categories of motorsport, and still perform. So I'm very proud that I was able to be a part of something like that this year, and yeah, I can't wait for next year's F2 grid. I think it's going to be one of the most competitive grids for a while.
And 2 more rounds this season as well to continue proving yourself. So how have the preparations been going?
Yeah, good. I'm actually flying out to Italy tomorrow to go see the boys and girls at Trident, jump on the sim and do some Qatar and Abu Dhabi preparations. And yeah, I can't wait.
Christian, first of all, thanks so much for being here. Great to hear about, it was great to commentate on you in Formula 3 this season and see you moving up to Formula 2. You put a really kind post out about being involved in this event last week on the build-up to it, and now you're here and seeing it all happen. How is it being part of this event, supporting the Young Epilepsy charity, inclusion in motorsport? You summarised it really well in your tweet, but now you're here. Tell us how it is to be involved in this.
Do you know what? It's very nice to see the turnout that we have here, and I think it's so important. Obviously, with me being diabetic and having to shed a light on that, and that being a whole thing in itself within motorsport, and having a day-to-day talk with you sometimes at the track, and I've never knew about childhood epilepsy because I've never had anyone struggle with it. I never experienced it firsthand, but I do know what it's like to be scared because you've got this thing that you can't change, and you're going through life, and it's extremely tough as it is for normal people to walk through life, let alone for a child with epilepsy. So I think it really struck a chord with me, and I like to get behind things that I truly, truly believe in, and who doesn't want to support, this cause? I mean, it breaks your heart when you hear about it, and, I think with the massive turnout here and being able to bring people together like this, I think it's absolutely awesome.
Just a final question. You mentioned, of course, your diabetes. That's something you have to struggle with on a daily basis, but it didn't put you off getting involved in motorsport. For people with epilepsy, they have a chance to get involved in the sport still through esports and careers as well. What would your advice be to someone maybe with epilepsy if they want to get involved in the sport, as you've struggled with something yourself that might restrict you?
Honestly, the thing is you just have to want it. And the thing is that you'll talk to yourself, and I'm speaking for the people out there. Everyone wants to be a racing car driver that loves racing cars, and it's very easy to just be like, oh, I want it, but how badly do you want it? Because I've had so many setbacks in my career. I've gone through karting and gone into Formula 4 testing and feeling really good, and then bang, diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And to give you a timeline of how quickly I had to change my life, I got diagnosed in the July of 2019 and I signed my first ever F4 contract in December of that year. So to let you know just how badly you need to want it, that is how badly you need to want it. And for my advice to the young kids out there who want to achieve, and maybe outside of motorsport, they just want to achieve something and be good at something, go for it. Just grab it by the you-know-what and run with it, because that's what you need to do. And I think I'm hopefully a very good example of you really can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it. I know it's cliche, and I know everyone says it, but I cannot stress enough how true it is. If you want something, work your behind off and you will get it.
Well, Christian, we're very, very grateful for you being here tonight with us. You're obviously P1 in the practice session at the moment, so you must be feeling pretty confident with your team.
Well, look, we're the best bunch of people there is. I think we're going to win it by half an hour. Here's what it is. We're just that kind of team. We're just that high of a caliber. But no, in all seriousness, I think I was the only professional driver in that session to jump in. I'm not sure, but my team looks pretty strong. It's only like half a second split between some of the people in my team, so I'm really impressed with that, actually. Like, either I'm horrible or they're really good. So I'm going to go with they're good, and I got a lot of faith in tonight. But unfortunately, tonight's not about winning as much as I would have loved it to be, but it's about getting everyone in this room and being able to support everyone and children with epilepsy. So if we win, it's just another cherry on top.
Have you got your eye on any of the other team leaders, just quickly?
Joseph, obviously he'll be quick. Zach, he'll be quick. You can't look past, Jimmy Broadbent of the world. I'm sure they'll pull out something. You just got to keep your head down, focus on yourself, treat it like a real race.
Well, best of luck, Christian, and we're actually going to send you to the commentary box now to do a little bit of commentary debut, so we'll let you get off. Thank you so much for joining us. And we are going to head to our race very, very shortly. You need to be watching this because we have got a fantastic bunch of team leaders who are ready to race, like Christian, and a bunch of professional drivers. We've got commentators, much loved content creators, and it's going to be a good one. So make sure you tune in, and we're going to head to a couple of adverts now with MSI and then hear another one of our young epilepsy stories. And then we're going to head to the commentary box with Chaz Draycott and, of course, this guy, Christian Mansell, alongside him.
Thank you very much to SteelSeries for sponsoring this event here at Simply Race. SteelSeries are the original esports brand that brings together gaming and culture, setting the standard for a new gaming lifestyle. They develop cutting-edge esports and gaming peripherals, and they prioritise top quality, innovation and functionality. Don't forget to check out the QR code that will be on screen and follow a link in the description to check out their range of products today.
Bodhi was just 8 weeks old when he started shaking and foaming at the mouth, and then he stopped breathing. I called 999. We were in hospital for 5 days, my tiny little baby with wires all over his head. He was having to go through so many different tests. It was so traumatic. We thought we had lost him. That's why research into childhood epilepsy is so important. Young Epilepsy are developing a child-friendly brain scanner which will help with early diagnosis and better treatment of children like my Bodhi. With your support, Young Epilepsy can continue to help young people living with epilepsy to live safer, healthier and happier lives. Join us, because together we create possible.
Hello everybody, welcome to the race stream here for the Setting Purple Sectors event here at Simply Race in Milton Keynes, and of course at the virtual Donington Park National, and we are looking forward to a lot of Formula 4 based action here this evening. So many great names and teams and drivers amongst a humongous list of entrants here for this event. 15 different cars, and there is going to be a lot of fun had from everybody here, and plenty of fun up here in the commentary box. You've got the sultry tones of myself, Chaz Draycott, throughout this entire event, and I'm looking forward to bringing you as much entertainment as I can throughout this, but let me tell you, the drivers are going to be doing just as much as well. It's all in the case of charity as well. well for the Young Epilepsy charity. Hats off to Chris McCarthy and the team at Young Epilepsy and everybody else involved, especially with Alpha Live as well, for bringing you this broadcast. We can see right now the cars are out on the circuit, just getting through their practice session, and getting through is a phrase that I use very lightly because some of the drivers have been scraping through, let's say, but it's been great to see a mix of different levels of experience out there on the circuit and sometimes off the circuit as well, as you can see for the Team Joseph Loke car. All of the all of the different teams will be named after their team leader, so we have a bunch of them out there all at the same time, but it's not necessarily that driver that's in the car at that very moment, and I'm delighted to say that we'll have some of them joining me in the commentary box as well. I'm delighted to say that, to begin with, I have Christian Mansell with me. Hello, Sunshine. How are you?
Hello, Sunshine. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad, thank you. How are you? You enjoying the event so far?
Yeah, mate. I mean, it's been pretty good so far. My team is currently P2. That's my lap up there, and I just saw Joseph jumped in the car and pipped me by nearly half a second. So I need to sort of pull my you-know-what out and do a good lap, but she'll be right.
What do you make of this car at this circuit then? Obviously, you know cars like this very, very well by now, but Formula 4s, it's a great base of a car to drive. You really have to wrangle the thing, don't you?
Yeah, it's quite a raggy car. You do have to sort of chuck it into the corner a little bit, and it's on that knife edge. And I think for 2 hours in an F4 car, it's going to be pretty interesting. I don't know what the tyre wear situation is or the fuel flow system of how much it's going to be able to burn or whatnot, but I think it'd be quite interesting.
Yeah, it's not usually a car you'd see in an endurance race format either, is it,
No.
these machines? Usually 25 minutes, half an hour tops, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, in F4, normally the race is like the 25 and like 30 minutes is like properly getting on, like that's a lot. But I mean, nowadays in F2, the races is an hour and it feels like a absolute lifetime. So, I mean, I can't imagine doing 2 hours in an F4 car.
No, especially at Donington as well. It's quite an undulating circuit. It's a little bit of a smooth place to drive, though, but it's definitely one that's suited to Formula cars, isn't it?
Oh, no, of course. I mean, I think Donington in any Formula car is a lot of fun. Obviously, I grew up racing British F4 and doing, British F3 and GB3 as it was. I went through that year of where it was transitioning. So a lot of fun, a lot of good memories in Donington, actually, in the rain. Was probably some of the most fun I've ever had in a race car at the time. So I do like this circuit a lot. I do like the the vibe and how fast and flowing it is. And for those that don't know, there is a fantastic Indian restaurant not far from the track that I go every single time I'm there.
I think I actually know the one as well. A good racing driver friend of mine took me there once when I was doing his social media.
Yeah, his name's Gandhi's.
Yeah, it's the same
guy.
one. It's actually the same one. No way. That's mint. What a great place, though. But you're absolutely right. And yeah, we obviously other Indian restaurants are available in the area, I'm sure. But yeah, you get the
you can't top
recommendations,
Gandhi's, mate.
Yeah,
don't even try.
Now, obviously, Chris McCarthy has put this event together, and he's told me that you are wanting to do some commentary, which is why we've got you in so early on.
Yeah, well, I mean,
is it a hidden passion of yours?
Yeah, a little bit, because, I don't know, I've just always liked the idea of getting behind the mic. I've been asked by a couple people to do it before. Like, I mean, I had a funny instance in Monza in 2023, I think it was, in F3, and Alex Brundle sort of came up to me and he's like, "Oh, you're so funny on the radio, you should come into the comms box." And I was like, "Oh, that actually doesn't sound like a bad idea. I think I quite enjoy that," because if anyone knows me, I can talk for years on end. I mean, I'm a massively sociable person, and I love to just interact. I thrive off of social interactions, so I just like getting behind the mic, and I'm very outspoken. I tell it how it is, and yeah, I mean, that's sort of what you need in a good commentator.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always say that my mum has told me that I've had 30 years talking rubbish and practicing at it, so I may as well get paid for it. So it's quite the thing to get paid for. But no, it's great to have you here in the box with us, mate. And obviously, what a great bunch of people we've got out there in the room. We're just for everyone that doesn't know, we're sort of tucked away in the commentary box in the corner. It's actually nice and quiet in here, regardless of us two yapping on. But what a great vibe there is in that room, though, with all the rigs and everything. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, there's so many people in one room, and they're all trying to do this, as we see a car go off into the wall. And we're all here because of children with epilepsy. And I think, as I've personally, as I said on the broadcast before, I've never dealt with childhood epilepsy. I don't know anyone with childhood epilepsy, but what I do know is, you know, suffering with a lifelong illness and condition and managing that day to day, and that I can really relate to, and especially when it comes to kids, like it's just so heartbreaking. And to get behind such a good cause, you know, it did not take much convincing at all to jump on this and come here and, you know, do. Oh my god, I just got so distracted by that car going up in the air. But it's so easy to just jump on this bandwagon and essentially support children with epilepsy, because it's the thing that I believe in.
Yeah, definitely. You know, when we do something like this for a good cause as well, I mean, I was going to say it takes the edge off of trying to get a result, but I guess for you guys, you always want to be the one that, especially against these boys as well. You know, some of the drivers that you've raced against so many times before, you always want to beat each other, even if it's just for a laugh. Yeah.
Oh, too right. I mean, obviously, what the ones that come to mind is obviously Zach and Joseph and Isaac, but I think, you know, this is going to sound really like cliche, but I'll be winning and everyone else will be winning if we can get that goal hit by the end of the evening. And I think that's pretty universally shared by everyone in the room.
Yeah, definitely. And just for those of you that can see it on the stream right now, there is a QR code in the top right corner that there will be throughout the entire thing. If you scan that, you can donate to Young Epilepsy, the charity that we are here for this evening as part of the Set in Purple Sectors event. There's a lovely bar in the top left of that screen, and we'd love to fill that to the £15,000 goal. And yeah,
that's
exactly.
Awesome.
You know, we're at nearly £400 already, and the race hasn't even started yet.
And you know what, mate? I just think 390 is just a bit of a weird number.
Yeah,
I just feel like someone should bring that to 400, you know? So who's going to be that guy? Who's going to be the good person to bring that to 400? I think that should happen.
And let's not forget as well that the names get shown up on the screen as well every time you do donate. So whoever does that next tenner is going to be the one to make it to £400. And we're going to keep an eye on the milestones.
Too right. I'm keeping a very, very close eye on that meter and watching it hopefully rise in the next, you know, however long. But obviously, you know, you're donating to children with epilepsy. You are making a childhood condition much more manageable, much more livable, and better quality of life. And, you know, not to be that guy, but £10 for that, I think it's an easy thing to do, to donate. So obviously, donate to how much ever you guys can. Don't be silly with it, of course. Donate in your, you know, price range, but anything is everything to these kids. So that is definitely my message to you all.
Couldn't say it better myself. Anyone out there, mate, that you're looking at as a main rival tonight, or anyone you want to fire off the circuit now?
Actually, it was quite funny. Zach was thinking of just like straight lining it into turn one, so that was, we discussed that, you know, we're but I think obviously, well, at the top three at the moment, I think Joseph, myself, Zach, obviously Isaac, Jimmy Broadbent. I feel like he's such an underdog. Like, he just comes from these random like instances, and then all of a sudden he's fighting at the front, and even himself sometimes he doesn't know how he's gotten there, but he always ends up there. I mean, you can't count out Mr. Turkington. I think he's got
at the moment.
Wow. You don't know if it's him driving though, do you?
This is the beauty of it, you see. We don't know who's in the car. So
like, I know for a fact that Joseph did his lap. I know for a fact I did my lap, but that was at the start of the session. And I think, I love how I've already made an excuse.
You got to add that in automatically. Yeah, that was the start of the session.
I don't actually know if Zach has done his lap. I'd imagine so if it's that close, or maybe he's just got some awesome teammates. Wouldn't shock. But I think, I mean, to be honest, like, top 7 is split by just over half a second. As we have the Epps team going P1.
Wow.
Funny story, actually. So Michael Epps and Joseph Loke. Mike actually coaches Joseph.
He does, yes.
So this is so common. I reckon he's got a toe there from the 34 car. So, oh my God, they're side by side into the old hairpin. That's
brave.
That's brave.
Is it brave or stupid?
Well, depends on which way you look at it. I would say it's brave. Some would say it's stupid.
Depends. I mean, if I do it, it's stupid. If you do it, it's brave.
Yeah, well, there is that.
There's a reason I'm a commentator, mate.
Bit wide.
See, he's trying to show off now. It's definitely Epps. He's trying to show off, and he's ended up in the gravel. What they've done there, everybody, is they've lobbed all the cars back into the pit lane. and I can hear Grant shouting out the door. And it looks like we're going to move over to the next session. I believe we have a qualifying session, or are they using the results from practice?
Anonymous person donated £10. Thank you very much.
Oh, Gary Paravani.
Oh,
it's Gary, Dynamic. He's a photographer.
I was reading from the top. Sorry, Gary.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, Gary Paravani. Flipping heck, it must be important for him to part with his money. No, I'm joking. Thank you very much, Gary. Thank you, everybody that has donated so far. £400 raised. And I'm sure that will fill up very, very quickly. Now, Christian, I'm not sure if you need to be... Oh, Jim Kimberley as well has just donated £25.
Oh, I know Jim.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's Feeder Series. Yeah, lovely dude. Absolutely lovely dude.
What, he's the guy that runs it?
Sorry, yeah. Oh, well, I think he's a part of it.
Oh, get in.
He might run it. He might just be a part of it. Forgive me, Jim. I'm so sorry. But
now, Feeder Series do a lot of fantastic things.
Absolute legend.
Oh, that's mega. Absolutely
Thank
mega.
you,
this
buddy.
is, again, it's a highlight, isn't it? You know, even though some of the people that we know from this great community that we have, not just behind motorsport, but sim racing as well, they may not be here at the venue, but they can still be a part of this as,
absolutely.
As an international event.
It's awesome. This is really, really awesome.
Don't worry, the Formula 4 cars have not transformed. Our B-roll contains the British Touring Car Championship, which is often run on the R-Factor sim. But
got a lot of BTCC.
Oh, yeah, you've got to love it. You've got to love it. There used to be an Australian commentator, actually, for BTCC, Charlie Cox, my favourite commentator of all time. He was a very, very funny bloke, and hopefully, you never know, if the driving don't work out for you, mate, you could... I'm joking, I'm sorry. You could end up following in his footsteps. But still.
Oh, someone's doing another 10. Thank you, Kyle. Absolute
Thomas.
legend.
Yeah, indeed. Now, we're looking, on one of our feeds, we're looking at a lot of fire extinguishers at the moment because of the pit lane.
Oh my gosh.
They're very neatly lined up fire extinguishers. They look wonderful. But all the cars are in the pit lane at the moment as they switch over to the next session. What are your thoughts in terms of the first stint of the race? Because it's going to be quite important, isn't it, to stay out of trouble?
I'd probably say I'll open and then sort of leave it to the other boys. We need to. Apparently we need to make a change in a moment's time. Apparently, I'm not quite sure. Yes. Apologies, everyone, but we are constantly live in here in the commentary box. This is we're never not live.
Never not live. No, it's all good. It's all good. Bless her. We've got people from the charity in and out the door, always checking in on what's going on, but. Again, it's a busy environment for everybody because there's so many moving parts to this, isn't there, Christian?
Very much so. Very much so. Amy with the £10. Yes. Love it. Keep it coming. Yes. This is what we're here for. We're almost at 450 now.
Yeah.
So
carry on.
You know, I like this trend. I like it. Yes, Roman. Oh my God.
To the studio. We are just getting ready to have our race. Our race is going to start in 5 or 6 minutes time, so everybody is just getting into position. I'm now joined alongside me once again by the man of the hour, Chris McCarthy. And Chris, we want to talk a little bit more about your story, so kind of how you came to be working with the charity and a little bit about where you are today.
Yeah, thanks very much. My story, I guess, starts with my diagnosis of being diagnosed with epilepsy. I first suffered with it when I was 17 years old, having a seizure at the racetrack, which unfortunately brought a very abrupt end to my racing career, which I touched on earlier. And that forced me into a decision to make on how I stayed in motorsport. And it was a conversation with my dad on the way home after finding out that I was going to lose my race license for 5 years. A month later, a conversation in the car with my dad sort of brought me to a decision to come up with that I was going to film races instead of competing in them, as I had access to all these cameras. Similar to this, really, when I was studying TV and film at college, and film the races I once competed in that at the time didn't get filmed. So that's kind of how I got into broadcasting. It almost became something that worked out for the best for me in the end, that I was diagnosed with epilepsy, because it forced me into this. In terms of how I came involved in the charity, it was something that I wanted to do myself. I reached out to them initially, wanting to help, and that that came after I'd opened up about my epilepsy more. I did that through social media. I started to post a little bit more about it, and the reception I got back from it, and not just the reception, but the messages I started to receive from people who had epilepsy that didn't really know who to message about it in motorsport, hadn't really heard people speaking up about it, because in motorsport there aren't many people suffering with it, I guess. We do have some people suffering with it, and there are some fantastic stories tonight which you'll read about, but I reached a point in my career where I guess I had a platform to open up about it, and I wanted to use that to work with a growing charity like Young Epilepsy to give people a chance like this to either compete or watch a brilliant race and raise some money. So that's, I guess, how the story happened.
And I mean, when you see something like this today, if we take you back to kind of how you were feeling when you were first told that you weren't going to be able to race, that must have sort of felt like things had kind of come crashing down a bit around you. But when you look at what we have here today, you must just be amazed.
Yeah, I really did. I was devastated when I was given that news. I couldn't drive on the road for at least a year. I can't race for 5 years minimum. I still can't drive on the road today because of this. And as a racing driver who wanted to go and race in Formula One, like many of the drivers in this room, many of the growing drivers I get to commentate on today, yeah, it was absolutely devastating, but it forced me to make a decision. I think Christian Mansell spoke about that earlier, and what an inspiring story he had with diabetes, and you're forced into a very quick decision to make as to how you now deal with this. And my, I guess, approach to dealing with it was to, let's go out and stay in the sport, but use my knowledge of the sport now to go and film races and commentate on them instead, and it worked to my advantage. But I've met many people that want to get involved in the sport and maybe suffer with this, and that's what we want to do. But there's so many great stories, and that's why we have the certain team leaders we have. Christian Mansell is one of them. Jimmy Broadbent's another. He's just held a fantastic event for Mind Charity, raising a huge amount of money, and he's gone from racing in his shed to being a professional driver, I think we could call now, racing on the Nürburgring. I remember standing there with him in 2018 as one person who wanted to commentate on Formula 3 and one guy who wanted to race on that track. And and he's now racing on it. So, and we've got some all the way across the board, some really great stories. And I look at Harry Benjamin there, how quickly he's moved through the ranks, and he holds a fantastic charity event each year as well. So, yeah, all across the board, our team leaders do really nice work, and that's why we brought them in to do this job.
Well, great things often come from adversity, and like you were just saying, some of our team leaders, it's of course important to mention those people who have come down tonight. So just take us through a little bit about some of the team leaders that are here.
Yeah, I mean, Isaac Hajar is here. He's a really, really great team leader for us as well, competing in Formula 2 at a very, very high level. Keen sim racer as well. We spoke about Christian Mansell. I've known Zach O'Sullivan since he was about 10 years old, which is really good to have him here as well. Cameron Daz is a really good story. Couldn't raise the funds to race in Formula 2 after winning his Euro Formula Open title. So again, not, I guess, similar to me. I was forced to making a career change because of my epilepsy. For him, it was due to funding, but he dealt with it so well. And now he has a fantastic business in coaching people. I was actually just over by his rig, and he stood next to every single driver that goes in there, coaching them through. And he's donated a fantastic coaching prize as well, which is hugely appreciative from us and from the charity as well. So Joseph Loke has just got to drive a Formula 1 car. A kid I don't think when he started racing would have dreamed of that, and what an inspiring story. A kid who was racing in the Fiesta Junior class now driving a Formula 1 car. His coach Mike Epps is here as well. Tom Brooks, Formula E commentator as well, really good broadcaster. Tom Gaymore is another one as well. He suffered a huge injury on his back, which stopped him from racing, and it was his story that actually inspired me to become a commentator. He was forced into a decision: how do I continue? And he chose the career path of commentating, and now he's an IndyCar commentator.
Well, fantastic to hear some of our stories. Fantastic to have you alongside Chris. But we now can go to the race. So the race is about to begin. Enjoy.
But what Christian's going to do with this is basically just show you how easy it is to,
Yeah,
to
well,
do it
I
and how
mean,
quickly
I've
it
literally
comes
just
through.
scanned it. Skip these, check out.
Accept all cookies.
Rightio. Bosh. Payment details. Your details? Oh, I can't say that out loud.
I was going to say, what's the long card number?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Oh yeah, don't forget that CVV code. Or is it CCV? I can't remember.
CV.
I think
Yeah,
it's CVV.
maybe.
God, that's something I didn't expect to be discussing on
Display name. What
on
should
the
my
stream.
display name be?
You put Chaz Draycott and I'll put Christian Mansell.
No. Right, I'll do my name. Okay.
Yeah.
And if it actually offers Apple Pay, then that would be even better.
This is what happens when we wait for sessions to tick over.
No, we donate money.
Oh.
Oh,
right, okay.
oh,
So
do I need
Mike
to
Yao
go?
has joined us in the room and has confirmed that the drivers are getting in the Sims.
Oh, okay.
But that means that Christian,
Right.
you're going to have to go, mate.
Right, everyone, it's been so lovely. Yeah, I probably should manage the team. But
Christian, it's
right,
been a joy.
It's been a joy.
Thank you so
Lots
much,
of
mate.
love,
It's been a
and
pleasure.
I'll see everyone in the broadcast later. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate. Christian Mansell, everybody. What an absolute star with a definite career in commentary should the racing never take off. But let me tell you, if he's as good a commentator as he is a racing driver, it won't matter which he turns his hand to in the long term. He'll be good at both. Brilliant stuff. Great fun already had so far. And the stream will continue on. We wait for the drivers and everybody to get ready in their rigs. So for those of you that don't know, I'll re-explain the format of this. We have 15 different teams. We have them in different sim rigs around the room, all on site here at Simply Race. None of this is done online. This is all LAN events, so they're all in the same room. They are going to be changing into the sim physically, getting in and out of the car. It's going to be a 2-hour Formula 4 race for which they are lining up now on the grid. And they are going to do a number of stints each. Most of the teams have 3 drivers. Most of the teams have, well, no, that's not the right way to put it, is it, Ryan Gill? Most of the teams have 4 drivers. Some of them have 3. One of them has 5, which is the Team Young Epilepsy team led by Will Dendy. We get the team managers' names as part of the overlay that you can see there. It's Mike Epps' team ahead of Joseph Loke. And as they start on what I believe is the warm-up lap, thank goodness for that, they actually have a warm-up lap. I thought half the grid hadn't got going then. It's Mike Epps, and then Joseph Loke, Christian Mansell, Zach O'Sullivan, Gordy Much, and then Sky Sports Formula 1 commentator Harry Benjamin, Isaac Hadjar, Antonia Rankin, and then Cameron Daz. And then behind that we have... Who's the Jones? Why has that escaped me? It's not on my list. Jimmy Broadbent's team, then Tom Gamemore, Will Dendy, Tom Brooks, and Colin Turkington. It's Amber Jones. It's Amber Jones, and that's really frustrating for me. Not that it's Amber, that I forgot, because I'd asked her to come into the commentary box later and commentate with me for a bit, because Amber and I have only ever met once at Snetterton for about a minute when she was presenting, and we never got a chance to properly catch up. So Amber will be joining me in the commentary box later. I'm delighted to say that some of the team leaders will be joining me in the comms box as the race goes on, so you'll hear from them and see what they've got to say about their adventures. So, hope you're enjoying the fun so far, everybody. Please don't forget to continue donating. As you can see there, Pavli has just donated £25. Original 99 has donated a tenner. Christian Mansell himself has completed his £10 donation as well. Thanks once again to Christian for coming into the commentary box and joining me on this. It was an absolute riot to have him here with us in the booth. He's an absolute natural on the mic, and we look forward to seeing him back with us, hopefully again later on. Now, I've just been told as well by Ryan Gill, who is here in the box with me, that they do have to line up properly in their grid box or they will get a penalty. So watch the drivers now make it to the grid. You can tell who the real drivers are that are behind the wheel, because they're properly warming these tyres up in a way that is very efficient as they head to the line. Warming up the brakes as well. It's a hell of a lot of fun, all of this, isn't it? A hell of a lot of fun. We're getting ready, though, for the first ever Setting Purple Sectors event here at Simply Race at the virtual Donington Park. We've got a humongous mix of professional drivers and brand new to sim racing drivers here. The lights are now coming on. The countdown is on. And Setting Purple Sectors 2024 is underway, and there's a car that has not moved off the line. That's the number 33 machine. That's Christian Mansell's team has not moved off the line, and Joseph Loke's car goes straight into the lead. Team Epps in second place, nearly clips the left-hand corner at the back of the car, and then behind them, Zach O'Sullivan's team next up. Then it's Gordy Much and Harry Benjamin, 5th place at the moment. Everybody in the background there keeping it nice and relatively tidy. And as they head down the hill, down the Craner curves for the very first time, it is still Joseph Loke's car leading the way. And in second position, Epps ahead of O'Sullivan. Some of the real racing drivers in. Oh, there's a car off in the background. I can tell you there's somebody gone for a spin. I think it's Team Turkington that have dropped down to the back of the pack. And they've dropped all the way down into 15th position. But don't forget, it's a 2-hour race. There's still plenty of time for things to go better or worse. Oh, there's a car around. Is that the Brooks machine? No, it's Antonio Rankin's car that has gone around. Tom Brooks, I know, is in a black and blue car. I think it's actually one that's just off in the gravel in the background, funnily enough. I think Brooksy's gone off now. Tom Brooks himself has been doing a lot of rallycross recently with his dad over the last couple of years, so he's certainly attuned to being on the dirt. Here's the Team Benjamin car, the yellow and black machine car, number 80, 5th position after that first lap. The top 7 have a bit of a gap back to Team Broadbent and Team Dendy in 9th place. Team Gaymore currently completing the top 10. A little bit of a running wide moment there for Team Dendy, or Will Sendy, whatever they want to call him this week. Will is a regular here at Simply Race, so should know these cars and this track, not only with the fact that he's a real world racing driver as well. A very, very quick one indeed. As you look there at Team Broadbent, through the dust they go. There's actually a car off and losing positions as it goes further down the order. Is that Christian Mansell's team again? Dropping down. Car number 33 is going backwards down the order once more. There's Team Gaymore. Right behind them, Cameron Daz's number 6 car at the moment as they head up towards Coppice. This 2-hour race straight into life though. And one of the best things about this being an endurance race is the fact that you're going to have different pace from every driver. As there's a slide and a spin near the front of the pack, and Mike Epps' team has just lost the lead. I can tell you, I'm lucky enough to have 2 feeds here in the commentary box, and Mike Epps' car has just lost that second spot and is now under pressure, look, for even further positions. That's Zach O'Sullivan's car losing a place now. Gordy Much's team moves up into second place. Epps is behind them in the black and green number 45 car. He's under pressure from Harry Benjamin's squad as well. Down the hill they go once more. Car 34 now into second place. That's Zach O'Sullivan's squad. And that's Team Gordy Much in third place. Bit of a quartet forming here. Slipstream important in these Formula 4 cars. As they head up to McLean's once more, up over the top of the hill. You can see these cars bobbling around. They're very stiff, very bouncy machines. Oh, there's an off in the background as well. I think that was Isaac Hadjar and Will Dendy's team. They came together on the exit of McLean's. So easy to lose the back end in these cars if you just push them a little bit too hard. But we look here at the second group in the race, because Joseph Loke's car has disappeared off up the road at this present moment in time. New best lap of the race as well by Team Loke, 105.695. A very, very strong effort indeed. Gordy Much now, well, his team anyway, not confirmed if it's Gordy or not who's driving at present. Currently looking this way and that way to try and figure out whether they attack or defend with a car right in front and a car right behind. Here's Team Mansell. Christian Mansell now right behind Team Broadbent, trying their very best to gain another place as they head down the Craner curves once again, really close up to the gearbox of that number 2 car just in front. No move being made this time, but still trying to make sure they recuperate whatever they can in the opening moments of this race, because let's face it, this is when the field is at its closest, so you have to be so careful. You have to also try and take every opportunity that you can. It's a real dilemma to try and figure out whether you're going to risk it or just play it safe in these opening stages. More donations coming in. Mine's just been completed as well. Feeder series as well, adding another £50 to the pot. Thank you so much indeed. really, really do appreciate it. Don't forget that QR code in the top right of the screen is where the donations can be made. As wheel-to-wheel contact here from Team Mansell and Team Broadbent. Round the outside goes the number 2 machine, just a little bit too hot into Redgate on this occasion. Doesn't work for them this time. Here's the battle further up the order though. Team Much trying to get past O'Sullivan, and then Team Epps back in the battle as well in car number 45. Harry Benjamin's team just keeping a watchful eye over this, and to be fair, if it was a realistic modelling of Harry Benjamin, he'd be able to look over the top of all of these cars in front of him, with the fact that he is roughly 9'8". How do you squeeze him in the venue? It's great to have him here.
Sorry to bring you away from what is a thrilling race so far. Of course, we'll be back to it in about 10 minutes' time or so. Of course, if you do really, really want to catch up with the race, you can follow the race stream exclusively, but hopefully you can stick around and grab some of the atmosphere around here, which is what I'm going to be doing for a few minutes. But there's also another way to get involved as well. Our first poll on the Tiltify website, which you can view either by the QR code or the link to the side in the chat or in the description, is an opportunity for you to vote. And our first one is basically, in the next time I go live, in about 15, 20 minutes time, half an hour or something like that, the leading team leader on circuit will have to drive either with one hand or without braking for a whole lap. And you get to choose what they do out of those two. So you're going to get to vote either by driving one-handed or with no brakes for one whole lap. And that'll be the leading team leader on circuit next time I go live. So follow the Tiltify link. It sounds like there's been some drama in the background, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But I'm hoping to grab a word with some of our amazing people around here, including Annie. Annie, first of all, thank you very much for coming and joining us today. It's going to be it's a great event. Just talk to us about, you know, you've done a lot of work with Young Epilepsy, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. I realised it's like 5 years ago I started working with Young Epilepsy because I had surgery in 2019 for my epilepsy, and then after that I was like, okay, let's get something done. And I saw a post on Facebook, and the rest is history. I met them in Birmingham that year, and young rep ever since. Yeah.
Amazing. And talk about what a young rep like yourself does for Young Epilepsy, and the impact you can have.
Basically, the young reps come together to give the charity a steer on what would be good for young people. Like, obviously, like, these guys all know what they're doing, but it's good to have like young people in the moment living with epilepsy to like help out and say, and like we're listened to as well. So it's so good. And like I've done numerous things. Like I've done interviews with like Great Ormond Street and different things like that. Like I've done loads of interviews, blog posts. So.
Amazing. It's amazing that you're able to share the story from someone who's lived with epilepsy, and you can still come and do awesome things like this. You're like, it's crazy.
I know, yeah. I will never be able to drive, but here I am driving today.
Exactly. And let's talk a little bit about the driving. Sorry about that. Talk a little bit about the driving. You're in the Young Epilepsy team, pod number 1, with the MSI 49-inch monitor. It's pretty cool. We saw you out in practice. How did practice go?
Well, I got told that I was good by Will Dendy, which was enough for me.
That is praise indeed. He's normally pretty harsh.
Yeah, I was spinning off the track a little bit, but then I learnt to use the brake. It turns out I was using the clutch instead of the brake at one point.
They are different pedals.
They are different pedals, but I wouldn't know. But now that I know, I kind of mastered it, I think.
Excellent. Well, Annie, thank you so much for sharing with us. We're helping Young Epilepsy to start with. Have you got anything you'd like to say, to people who are watching at home right now?
Well, I just want to thank, I know my partner Josh is watching, and Kyle from the Weatherspoons downstairs, my brother, and I've seen they've been donating, so thank you so much.
And if anyone is watching at home, it's an amazing cause. You've seen it from the inside. Young Epilepsy can make a massive difference to young people's lives with the condition.
Yeah, just thank you so much for even watching. It's everything to just get the charity out there, and this charity does amazing things. I hope to work with this charity for a long time yet as well. It's just amazing.
Amazing. Well, Annie, thank you so much for helping Young Epilepsy. Thank you so much for being involved this evening, and we'll see you on circuit later on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Amazing. Of course, you can donate. Donations easily done via the link in the description, and also I believe it's in the live chat to the side as well. And if you are a UK taxpayer, make sure that you tick the gift aid as well, so they get an extra little boost towards their fund. Because of course we're trying to raise money and awareness for Young Epilepsy. It's something that impacts over 100,000 young people in the UK, and the more that is known about it, the more money is raised, the more integrated and the more accepted everyone feels. let's wander through the crowd, see if we can grab a word with some more of our team captains. Why don't I grab a word with this young man here? It's Cameron. Cameron, can I grab you away from the sim? I can see you looking at the times intently on Team Cameron Das. Cameron, of course. Some people might recognise your face, might recognise your voice. Just tell people who may not know you, what you're about and why you're here.
Yeah, so I used to race cars. I won Formula 4 and European Formula 3, and then I shifted and went full in on YouTube. Mostly rental karting content, and I don't know, it's something like 2 billion views now. So.
And you 755k subs I've got down here.
Yes.
That's a lot. And the short content is going absolutely off the rails for you, isn't it?
Thank you. Yeah, the shorts absolutely blew up, and I'm just trying to make motorsports a bit more accessible.
It's brilliant. And to be honest, I've seen a lot of your content. It gets shown to me all the time. I love the fact that you've effectively made rental karting like a big thing, a big player in the the YouTube motorsport space, and people realise that they can go out there and do it, much like sim racing as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I love sim racing. I basically had a two-pronged approach to getting into motorsports. It was rental karting and it was sim racing, and they both have their things to offer. But for me, rental karting gives you that adrenaline, and sim racing gives you that precision.
Precision, and also effectively unlimited track time, which is another cool thing. And also a really cool thing about people with epilepsy often they can't drive on the road and can't race, but we've just spoken to Annie, who's a young epilepsy ambassador and also has epilepsy herself. She's racing this evening. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible event because we have such a range of people from pro motorsports all the way down to people who just like doing it in their living room. And as you can see from the stream, it's competitive.
It's very competitive. There's competition up and down the field, which is good fun. Cameron, I'll let you get back to coaching your team and see how they get on. Anyone, a reminder, the first poll is open. So go visit Tilsfire, open another tab so you can still have the stream live. That way you can vote for who is going to have to either drive with one hand, or if you're going to vote for the leading team member who's in the car in the next time I'm live, whether they're going to drive with one hand or no brakes for a lap. That'll be entertaining to watch. And then we'll be selecting some people for some other challenges throughout the rest of the evening. For those of you who already donated, you can see the donations in the top of the screen, I believe. Thank you so much. We really appreciate those donations. Of course, that is one of the main reasons we are coming to you live this evening. The Belinsky family, who have donated a race suit, Roman Belinsky's race suit. Amazing. Thank you for the donation of that for the auction. But also, they've donated £200. Massive thank you to you. My partner, Kate, at home, she's watching. She said, stream looks good. She's donated a tenner as well. Thanks, Kate, at home. Also, I believe there's loads and loads of people who've already donated. If you can donate, we'd love to have those donations come in. If not, then keep watching the stream, share it on social media. We've got a lot of fun, a lot of racing coming up this evening, so we're looking forward to that. I'm going to try and get one more interview. I think I've got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes left. Colin, is it all right if we grab a quick word, interrupt I could see you are very much in the zone there. Colin Turkington, a name synonymous with British motorsport, but for those who might not know you, just, what have you been doing for the last 15 years?
Last 20 years.
20?
Yeah, British touring cars. So racing tin tops basically in the UK. So, I've been fortunate enough to make a career out of it. So I'm one of the lucky ones. So, but yeah, enjoying being down at Simply Race tonight, supporting this great charity. So we qualified 15th. I'm not going to say we qualified last. We qualified 15th.
15th, yep.
Yeah, we're now up to 13th. So
plus 2.
So at that rate of progress, over 2 hours.
There's no reverse grid tonight, right?
Oh, is there not? Oh, then we're stuffed.
But Colin, of course, it's a very mixed group this evening. We've got professional drivers such as yourself, professional sim drivers. Of course, you're a 4-time BTCC champion. I know you've got a sim at home, but some of the guys out there are pretty quick.
They're really quick. I'm an absolute amateur when it comes to sim racing. I dip in and out. My son, who's just sort of starting his motorsport journey, I would call him a pro, and I'm the am. So, but we get a lot of fun out of it, I live quite local to Simply Race, and we've sort of had a friendship over the last sort of 4 or 5 years. So, it's great to be here, and looking forward to my stint later on this evening.
Okay, when are you going out? Can you give us a little?
I think I'll probably be the last stint. Yeah, so. Super sub in at the end.
We'll see. Colin, thank you very much for joining us today. It's great to have you here, and we'll see how your team gets on later on. So thank you very much for that. I mean, great to have some of the amazing personalities around here. We're just going to, keep talking to a lot of the people here throughout the evening. But actually, let's head back to the race to see how it's getting on before we maybe hear from someone else.
Thank you, Piers. I am delighted to say I am joined alongside me now by Isaac Hajar, F2 title contender, no less. Isaac, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. It's good to be here.
It's great to have you with us. Obviously, I just said F2 title contender. I mean, that is a fantastic thing to be able to say at this point in the season. I know you've had a bit of an up and down season. I'm sure that you would say that, but just to be in that hunt, 4.5 points back from your championship rival, it's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, it's I would have signed for that at the start of the season. So obviously, it was the goal to be in the fight, and the title is the goal, and it's still alive. So it's definitely a good position to be in, and now we need to back it up for the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, and 2 rounds left to go. So how have the preparations been going, and what's your mindset like going into that?
I'm actually going on the sim tomorrow at Red Bull, sim prep for the last 2 rounds, and it's all in, really. So far this year, I felt like every time I had the package, I've delivered, and we were on the top step of the podium on Sunday, which is where I got the points mainly. So yeah, I'm really confident. We had 2 really tough weekends, and I know the team is back up to speed now, and I'm gonna deliver.
And is there kind of a feeling then going into those final 2 rounds of like, we've got nothing to lose, you really want this title and you're going to do everything to get it?
Yeah, absolutely. Not going to count the points. It's going to be all in, and hopefully it will stick.
And of course, away from F2, I mean, many of our viewers will know that you are the reserve driver for Red Bull Racing. Of course, we're in Milton Keynes at the moment. You know this place well, I'm sure. So you're kind of on the brink of Formula One, it feels like. So how special is that to have your name coming up for seats and being talked about so much as a possibility for Formula One?
I mean, it's this is what you get when you perform in F2. Obviously, you're in a good junior program. I've been with Red Bull for 3 years, and it's been the trajectory, really. So now I'm at this point where I'm next in line, and it's a privileged position to be in. It's great, and I need to bring this title. It's gonna give me more. It's gonna give more impact on the decisions, obviously. So yeah, it's a great position to be traveling with the team in F1, and then also doing my F2 season alongside. So really busy and good.
And we see you quite often, in the garage and on race weekends, learning from the team. How much learning have you had from being in that environment?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, it's really an insight experience that you don't get to see when you're on the couch at home. So no, I enjoy watching the sessions with the team, assisting to all the debriefs, all the meetings, and it's just great. Because at the same time I can jump in the car anytime, so I need to be ready. So the prep is similar to all the F1 guys. So yeah.
Fighting talk saying that you're ready, and we'll hope to see you on the Formula One grid very soon. Lastly, just turning it back to tonight, you're one of our team leaders tonight. What kind of tips have you been giving your team? Because really, you're probably one of the most experienced people that we have here.
Yeah, I mean, they're used to sim racing, and I have to say they probably have the same amount of experience I have on the sim. You know what I do feel in real life doesn't translate perfectly, but yeah, they are doing good enough, and just helping them a bit on the gears and everything, but they are sorting themselves, so yeah.
Well, we're very, very grateful to have you here tonight, Isaac. Thank you so much for coming to speak to me. And I will let you get off and go and join your team again. I'm sure they'll be waiting for you. I'll just grab that for you. Thank you, Isaac. Fantastic to have Isaac Hajar with us. We are now going to bring in the special guests. Keep on coming, people. We have got Formula One commentator Harry Benjamin. Now, just bear in mind that Harry's quite tall, so we are going to have to just let him sit down so that he's still in our shot.
Sorry, hello.
How are we, Harry?
I'm very well, how are you?
Very Very good, thank you. First guest to ask me how I am, so immediate brownie points. You can tell he works in TV, people. Harry, I mean, you have had a fantastic career so far. It really has skyrocketed over the last 18 months. Of course, many people will know your voice, but you're in a little bit of a different role tonight. How much sim racing experience have we had?
Little to none. Thankfully, I've got a really good team. I think I've lucked out, really. I've got a guy called Kieran, who is, I think last time I checked, he was on his stint, and he qualified for the Motorsport Games, and so he is up to speed on the sims. We got Tom on the team as well, who's actually nip and tuck with Chris Buncombe, a Le Mans winner on our team as well. So I'm just, if I can get in, do a short stint, keep it on the roads, I think we'll be all right. But I mean, this is an amazing event. I was just chatting with Chris, who's put this whole thing on, and it's no mean feat. I mean, it's a brilliant technical operation, let alone getting everybody here, and the amount of people that have come from motorsport far and beyond as well. So really privileged to be here, really grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to Chris McCarthy for putting tonight's event together. It has been incredible and continues to be incredible. Harry, just turning it back to the day job, what you're more used to than the sim racing, if I can say that. Sky Sports F1 this year, of course, not many people, if any, from what I can remember, get to fill Crofty's shoes. So just talk to us about that and the pressure that you must have been under.
Yeah, scary. Very scary. I was very nervous for Imola, which was my first one this year with Sky, but they were brilliant. They made me feel like part of the family straight away, and it is like you're coming into a family that have been there for over a decade. And actually, I grew up watching these guys. These are the people I wanted to be like, and now suddenly I'm sat doing a commentary with Karun, or I'm in the production office talking to Damon Hill, or even doing a commentary with Martin Brundle. I mean, to be honest, if I never commentate again after this year, I'll be all right with it, because I've commentated a Formula 1 race with Martin Brundle. Like, I never thought that would even be possible. I never even thought of it as a thing, really, because you just don't see that happening. But what the privilege was incredible. I learned so much. It's not easy. You have to do a lot of preparation and nothing. It's, at the end of the day, it's live telly, and you have no idea what's coming at you. And it's very different for what I do regularly, which is radio commentary, which is a world away. It's the same sport, but you're calling it in a completely different manner. So that takes a little bit of getting your head around. But I did 3 races this year, and covering for Crofty is no mean feat. Massive shoes to fill. He is a reason he's done it for so long. He's a master of his craft. So to even, I had a phone call with him. He gave me some good advice, and to have been able to sort of hold the ship while he was gone was such a privilege of a lifetime, really. So yeah, really grateful. So it's been a mega year.
It has indeed been a mega year. I mean, I think mega's a good word for it. And of course, if we take it back to the very beginning, kind of where you were starting out in commentary, you actually started, I believe, on Euro Formula Open back in 2021. We have the champion of that season here tonight. So it's a little bit of a full circle moment. Have you had a chance to catch up with him?
I kind of forgot. I need to get a picture with Cameron Dass. That was my first ever full commentary. Euro Formula Open, Paul Ricard, and I was also doing International GT Open, which is sort of the parent championship. And I did that in Paul Ricard. That was my first ever commentary. Never been inside a commentary box at a track. Hadn't watched the series. Felt so out of my depth. I just ran with it. I had handwritten notes for everything. A lot of it's now computerized.
Nothing wrong with handwritten notes.
No, but it does take up a lot of time. Did that, and then actually that was my first ever sort of proper commentary. And then the weekend after, I did the Porsche Super Cup, supporting Formula 1 in Monaco, and that was scheduled to be my first ever commentary properly, but the Euro Formula came about and provided such a brilliant sort of learning curve before I got into the Super Cup. So it was an incredible experience. So I think I'll have to get a picture with Cam, because I've been to his flat, he's tried me on a simulator. That's the one bit of simulator experience I have. It's terrible, woeful. And he's gone on to amazing things as well. So it's a great place to learn, both if you're the driver and if you're on the broadcasting side.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we have so many incredible team leaders here tonight, all doing amazing things for the charity. Just a word on the charity, and a massive thank you as well to everyone who has donated so far. Of course, you've heard Piers talking a little bit earlier about how to donate, but just £1 can help so much. And a little bit of a word on the charity and how well they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. To get this room filled to the brim pretty much is amazing. And, you know, I've known Chris for a few years now. We've been mates all throughout sort of my commentary journey. He's always been there for advice. When I actually found out that he had epilepsy and it's something that prevented him from being a racing driver, but it's not just that, you know, it robs him from being able to drive on the road in a road car. And that's so limiting in his life. And just seeing him go about his day-to-day business and doing what he's doing is an amazing achievement, because, you know, it's a huge stumbling block to get over, but you wouldn't know it when you talk to him, when you see what he does. So to learn through him what the wider work that the epilepsy charity does is incredible. So if you can donate, I'm going to donate, but if you can donate, please do. And I don't know who's watching this where, but there's a signed track map that I've got from when I did my first ever Sky Sports F1 commentary. So the Imola track map. If it's any interest, you can bid on that.
Yeah, if it's any interest. What do you mean, Harry? It's going to be of interest.
Just my scribbles.
I'm going to bid on it, at the very least. I'll bid on that, because maybe I can learn a thing or two. Harry, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for giving up your time tonight and being here for an amazing cause. Of course, we have talked about that amazing cause, and we've heard some incredible stories throughout the night, and we're going to hear one more right now.
My name is Cash and I have focal epilepsy. Before I have a seizure, my legs go funny and I also get this weird taste in my mouth. I usually get really hot and then sweat up a lot, so I have to they bring a fan in the room so it can cool me down a bit. The seizures last around 5 to 10 minutes. Afterwards, I usually get really tired. I tend to sleep for around 2 to 3 hours. I really like surfing, skateboarding, paddleboarding and playing football. When I score a goal, it just makes me really happy. Last season I scored 7 goals. So when school finished in the Easter holidays, there was this football camp, but they wouldn't take anybody with epilepsy, so I wasn't allowed to join the camp. It made me feel really angry and annoyed because all my friends could go but me. My name is Cash. Understand my epilepsy?
Harry Benjamin, obviously, Tom Gaymore, you know, lots of commentators. So you'll be great for the rest of the broadcast, because there'll be people there to.
Honestly, yeah. If I get lazy in here, I'll just get other commentators. That's the reason I asked you.
Oh, I did wonder.
Come in, come and have a chin wag with me, mate, and it'll be sound. Because then I can say I've worked with all these amazing commentators. This is just me building up my CV.
Yeah, exactly. Just stick it on the show reel.
Yeah,
lovely. Your job's good.
Yeah. One broadcast I worked with Tom Brooks, Harry Benjamin, Neil Cole.
But you know, to have everybody together like this is great. But it seems like everybody knows everybody else from events that you've never heard of. It's really cool, isn't it?
It's a funny
We've
old
all been networking well like that.
Funny old industry, this, you know, in terms of motorsport, because I've always said to people, it's who you know, not what you know. Especially within motorsport, it's a very tight knit community. So everyone knows everyone who knows everyone, and. You want to be, from a commentary point of view, you want to be the person on the end of the blower, don't you, when someone phones, right? But for that, you've got to go out and meet people. You know, when I started out commentating, that was over 10 years ago, something along the lines of that. So I was going to, you know, things like the Autosport show and networking, handing up DVD show reels, trying to meet people, you know, and these are people that I now know today who I've been in the room with, and I'm like, I haven't seen you in 5 years, because you know people, but you don't necessarily see them all that often, you know.
Well, it's like us. I mean, you know, we became friends through one Gran Turismo gig that we did together, and then, you know, oh, that's Contact, that's the number 9 machine, that's the Isaac Hadjar car. Sorry, I've got to commentate for a second, Tom. Then I think that was the Team Gaymore machine that went into them as well. Tom's actually dropped down the order more and more at the moment, so if there's any commentators we can poke fun at, it's them. Pit stops coming up, which is going to be an interesting element to this, because you don't normally get endurance style pit stops in Formula 4s.
No, it doesn't happen all that often, does it? I think it's going to be exciting to see what happens in terms of strategy. You know, in terms of what we're doing at Team Brooks, we essentially have got Aidan in the car for as long as he wants to go, for about 45 minutes or so probably, and then we're going to stick, I think, either Grace or Neil in for a stint, and then either Neil or Grace after them, depending on who goes in the car, and then I'll do the end of the race. But yeah, keen to see what is going to happen, because like you say, in terms of strategy, no one really knows what's going to happen. And are you going to get an overcut or an undercut? You know, I have to say, relatively speaking, it seems like everyone's kept it pretty clean in this first. I was expecting chaos on that first lap, but it was quite tidy.
No, I was absolutely amazed, to be honest with you. It was a very, very interesting first stint because it was just so tidy all the way through. You know, that first lap was very impressive. I think we only had one car that had a bit of a spin. The lead gap is coming down, by the way. We've got Team O'Sullivan chasing down Team Loke just before where we expect the first set of pit stops to come in. So the race has time to evolve, and I think that's one of the best bits about this. I made the point earlier that, you know, with endurance racing like this, we've got 4 drivers that are all very different pace levels. So there's going to be a humongous difference in terms of how the car performs at one point in the race. So just because of how this timing tower looks now, it's not going to look like that in an hour and a half time.
No, exactly that. It's like, you know, if you look at Team Broadbent, obviously Jimmy is a very accomplished racer, knows what he's doing behind the wheel of a car, so some would say. And his team's down, you know, a lap down.
We're having a day.
A lap down in 14th place. But you can guarantee that won't be the finishing position at the end of this one. And I think that there will be quite a fair few variables over the course of this, as you say, you know, with pit stops and different levels of drivers. So I think the end of the race could be particularly interesting, because if you end up with a slower driver in front and then a faster driver behind, then you could end up with what we're seeing now, overtakes for position, especially going into the final few laps.
Definitely. Absolutely. Are there any teams out there, Tom, that you definitely want to make sure you beat? Because obviously this isn't a competitive thing. This is all just for fun.
Well, at the moment, we're leading the commentators' battle, aren't we? If you look at who we've got,
didn't think of it like that.
Team commentators, we've got Team Brooks, Team Benjamin, we've got Team Gaymore in there as well, and I suppose you could argue Team Broadbent to a degree.
Yeah,
so
100%.
We're winning that battle, so that's kind of what I'm aiming for, really. As long as we're ahead of the other commentators, I'll go to bed happy tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, Gaymore hasn't given me a gig yet, so I hope he doesn't win.
Give it time.
No, we love you, Tom. It's been great to see him.
But yeah, you've back up into 4th place now, so you know, you've got Team Benjamin not too far behind.
Yeah, we're doing all right. We're doing okay. I think Aidan is doing well. How long have we been going for in terms of the race duration?
Half an hour.
Half an hour now. So we're
that's
way up.
Yep. Well, he's slept up. No, that doesn't work. That's bottom of the barrel. I was trying to impress. No, it doesn't work like that. Joseph Loke's team has been into the pits, I think. We've got some more donations coming, by the way. D. Bonnie and Dons, £25. Thank you so much. Steve Reeve as well. That's a hell of a name you've got, Sunshine. 25 quid from Steve. And Crystal Craig as well, £25. Thank you so much. Nearly at £5,000 already. That's a third of our goal. That's absolutely remarkable. And we're already at a quarter race distance, which I cannot believe. But Tom, it's been a pleasure to have you in the box, mate.
Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to commentate with you again. It's been a long time. We normally just commentate from whoever's living room we're in whenever we meet up. But still, any words for everybody before you go?
Yeah, I just want to say, you know, thank you to everybody for joining us on the stream and also here at Simply Race. An amazing event, raising money for an amazing cause as well. And as I said, huge credit to Chris McCarthy, to the Simply Race team, and also to Young Epilepsy, the charity as well. I think that we're in for a stonking event. Looking forward to seeing what the leaderboard is going to look like in an hour and a half's time, and keen to see who's going to win the battle of the commentators as well, because we've now got up to 3rd place.
Yeah, now you've highlighted that to me. I'm going to keep an eye on that, and I'll be willing you all on. But thanks very much for joining me, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure, nice one. Cheers, Jazz.
Nice. Tom Brooks, everybody, the voice of Gran Turismo and Formula E commentator, and it's lovely to see him. And he's a very close friend of mine, so always a pleasure to share the box with him. And he now goes on to will on his team even further. We look at their car right now. It's actually moved up into 2nd position as of this moment in time, gaining a bit more on Team Loke. But this is what I was talking about and what Tom was talking about as well. The fact that we have different drivers in each of these cars, so they will obviously change in pace over the course of the race. So just because Joseph Loke's car streaked away at the start of the race doesn't mean that they're going to have drivers as quick as that in later on during the race. So you've got to keep an eye out for whatever the pace is at that time for that car. It is going to vary a heck of a lot. There's contact on screen, and that is the O'Sullivan car almost going onto the Grand Prix layout of Donington Park. I'm not sure if the car's got stuck on the barrier there. I think it has. It is moving. It is moving. I was really worried then that car got stuck on that barrier and was not going to be able to get away, but there was contact from behind. Not quite sure which team that was. I think it might have been Team Daz that just hit the back of them. The number 6 machine. Yeah, it does look very similar to the offending car. Now there will be live stewarding as well, so we'll see whether they get any sort of penalty for that later on. But at the moment, it is car 57, Team Much, that leads the way from Team Brooks, Team Loke, and then in 4th place, Team Benjamin, Team Daz, then Mansell, O'Sullivan, Dendy, the last car on the lead lap at the moment. 9th place is car 9, Team Isaac Hadjar, then Tom Gaymore. Mike Epps has just got ahead of Team Turkington. They both used to race in the British Touring Car Championship together as well, which is quite an interesting thing to do.
Dramatic racing indeed, of course, but it's me, I'm back again. Of course, the racing should still be in the corner of the screen, and if you really, really want to continue with the race stream is down below. But hopefully you're going to enjoy me chatting to some of the more of the members here, some of the celebs, and also some of our young epilepsy ambassadors as well. Why don't we go and grab a word with some of our team leaders? Let's wander this way. We started off at Simrigs pods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to move our way down to about pod number 8. I'm hoping to grab a word with Antonia Rankin. I'm going to pull Antonia away from her conversation. I'm very sorry. Antonia, sorry to interrupt. Antonia, of course, a lot of people have seen you on the TikToks, the social medias. Just for those who haven't seen you, tell us about what you do.
Oh gosh, I have fun is what I do. I noticed very early on in my career that I needed to talk about tech and I needed to understand my stuff in order for people to take me seriously. So that kind of became my thing, knowing stuff. And now all of a sudden I know stuff, but I don't use it. I just mess around on TikTok. I like bringing behind the scenes to people. I think it's really important to make these sports more accessible because
100%.
there's such a wall, especially in F1, where it can be so inaccessible to fans. And I love doing GT stuff and showing people what it's like to be there and as if they're there with me.
Absolutely, and I've seen some of your bits and pieces, explaining. I think I saw one the other day explained about how the engines get warmed up and then started. I quite enjoyed that one. But also, you've been doing some actual you've been doing my job, haven't you?
Yeah, gosh, it's really weird being interviewed. Yeah, no, I'm the pit lane reporter for GT World Challenge. So this is really strange for me, and I don't really like.
Which do you prefer? Would you rather be me or you?
I'd rather be you, but you're doing a great job.
It's okay. You can tell Chris that you want my job next year. But anyway, let's talk about the racing action. Have you been out yet?
I haven't, and quite frankly, I'm so happy to leave it to the guys. They're doing a good job. If it were me in the car right now, we'd be trailing by 20 seconds in P15. So the fact that we're even in the running is very impressive. I have to say, sim racing is a very alien world to me, and it's really difficult for me because I'm horrible at it. I'm so bad at it. And if it weren't for such a fantastic cause, I probably wouldn't be here today.
And it is a fantastic cause. Amazing that I think we're over 4.5, is it 4? Nearly $5,000 now. So if anyone's at home thinking, if you can, of course, then please do donate. And also, I think, I'm not sure if the poll that we have up it may be ending soon. Antonia, thank you very much for chatting. We'll see you on the simulator going around very fast, I'm sure, later on.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Antonia, of course, Team Rankin, I think she is under there. The poll which we had earlier, which was our leading team leader from at this stage in the race, was going to either drive one-handed for a lap or drive with no brakes for a lap. And I'm going to get my phone out and just check that poll. One moment. Hold on with me. Unless producer James in my ear can tell me who won that poll. James is finding out for me, so I don't have to get my phone. But I'm going to head over to where our leading teams are. I can't see the standings anymore. I think it was Team Loke at one point. I also would love it in my ear to find out who is leading at the moment. It looks like that's Team Much. Where is Team Much? Team Much in the corner. Let's head over this way. Team Much. Is Gordy in the car?
We're not Team Much.
Team Much. No, Gordy's not in the car. Right. Who's second place? Second place. Team Loke is in second place. Brooks. Is Tom Brooks in the car? Is Tom Brooks in the... No, it's not. Okay, he's third. Who is... Harry Benjamin. Is he in the car? No. I need fourth place then. Who's in... Say that again, please, producer James. Cameron Das. I think Cameron might be in the car, so let's go and see if we can find him, because I'm quite looking forward to finding out. No, Cameron Das isn't in the car. This isn't going as smoothly as I was hoping, everyone. I was hoping that quite a lot of the team leaders are going to be in. We've just hit £5,000 though, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone who's donated. We're going to be doing another poll when I've done this one in a moment. Who's in sixth place? Or should I just grab a random team leader? You know what, I'm just going to grab a random team leader. Why don't I come and grab? I'm going to jump in and grab. That was close. Okay, Isaac. we've just seen you have a small incident there. Our poll at home, people have been voting, donating. Starting at the start-finish line, you have to do a whole lap. I believe, is it no brakes? Confirmed to me, Producer James? Confirmed. So for the next lap, you're not allowed to use your brakes.
That's cool. Okay.
Talk us through it.
All right.
What's your strategy for this no braking lap?
Well, go off throttle really early, like about now maybe.
Changing down the gears. Scrubbing off. Just about. That's a lot of speed.
Surviving. Yeah, I just survived.
This is really showing the skill of our Formula 2 driver, Isaac Hajar here. Going through turn 1, only losing not even that much time right now. This is going to be tricky through the old hairpin. No brakes, remember?
Yeah.
Cameraman Johnny, let's get the left foot down there. He's definitely off the brake. That's a lot of speed. He's off the circuit. Oh, that's close. Okay, these are the true tricky ones.
Yeah, now it's going to get tricky with especially the last chicane.
So McLean's next. Normally a brake and a down change. Just a down change. You're making it look easy here, Isaac.
I know.
And then Coppis.
You're doing a good job, like.
I can confirm you are doing a good job. Whoa, that's a lot of speed. Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
Save it.
I talked too soon.
You did speak too soon. Right, we've still got the chicane to go.
I know. Now this is the tricky part now.
Right, well, at least you scrubbed off some speed at the start of the straight.
Yeah, I know.
And what's your tactic?
I'm off throttle.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Here we go. Oh, God.
2. We'll ignore track limits. Isaac, a very, very successful no brakes lap there from Isaac. Isaac, thank you very much.
Thanks for the challenge.
No worries. Thank you for being our first challenger. So that was, of course, voted for by you at home from donating. Our second poll, I believe, is already live, and that will be... Oh, Isaac, quick question. Who of the team leaders do you want to do the next challenge?
I think Christian will enjoy it really much.
Hopefully we can get Christian in for the next challenge. So, Christian Mansell, hopefully. You're going to be voting at home. What should the next challenger, Christian Mansell, have to endure? Is he going to have to endure a lap of Chaz Draycott's live commentary in his ears while driving? Or would you like me to give him some random facts while he's driving around? That's completely up to you. You can choose. Go on the Tiltify link. The link's either in the live chat or the link below or the QR code, all of those amazing things. And you can vote whether Christian Mansell is going to have to listen to Chaz in his ear or me in his ear. So I'm going to hopefully grab a word with Stephen. Stephen is from Young Epilepsy. I think he's an ambassador. I'm going to wander over here because that's where he was wandering around earlier on. Where is Stephen? I don't see him right now. In which case, tell you what I'll do. I'll line up Stephen for an interview later on. But we're going to head back to the race. We've seen that pit stops are starting. Izzy, I think you've got a face that we recognise, ready for another chat. We caught up with Colin earlier on informally, now a formal interview with Izzy.
Well, if anyone could do a lap with not using the brake, it would be Isaac Hajar. Colin, we've just watched that. I mean, first of all, a word on Isaac's lap. That was pretty crazy.
I was pretty impressed by how he got through the chicane. Yeah, I was expecting him just to go straight into the pit wall, but he survived that one quite well, so top marks, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully, I think you'll probably be thinking, please don't make me do that later on.
Well, at least having watched his lap, I'll have half an idea what to do, but yeah, quite glad I didn't get that challenge.
Very true. Colin, of course, I mean, the viewers at home will know you. 4-time BTCC champion. Your name and your reputation precedes you, we could say. You have just completed your 20th season in the BTCC. First of all, can you believe that you've done 20 seasons, and how do you look back on what you've achieved?
When I wake up in the mornings, yes, I can believe I've done 20. Yeah, you know, I've been really fortunate to have a great career in British touring cars. You know, my first season in 2002, you know, I was stepping into the unknown. I'd just moved from the Ford Fiesta Championship straight into touring cars, so it was a big step, and you know, you don't know how your career is going to go. You know, it was just for one season, and you know, I remember the very last event of that year thinking, wow, this could be my last ever touring car race. But it just sort of built momentum, and you know, the fortunate thing for me was, you know, I got in with a really good team, West Surrey Racing, and I've pretty much been there ever since. You know, all but bar a few seasons, but the majority of my career has been there, and with BMW as well. So, I think that stability has allowed me to to build a great career. And most importantly, I've had to work really hard at it. I was lucky in those early seasons that I had fantastic teammates, so I was able to learn, and I sort of worked hard at my craft, and that's half the thrill I get. That's even to this day, it's just each year trying to be a little bit better, and there's so much more, as to racing than just delivering out on track. Everything has to be on point. The mentality, your physical condition, and obviously the driving itself. So I enjoy the challenge each year of trying to be better and trying to win. That's what we try and do it for. And very, very proud to have won the series 4 times. That 4th time seems like quite a few years ago now, but I have come close. But it's an incredibly difficult championship to win.
Yeah, and I mean, like you kind of touched on there, it has been a career that's been filled with so many highlights. Of course, the 4 championships, and then this season, you're still up there even when you're maybe not in the title fight. You also helped your teammate to take his first maiden title as well, and you're now on, I think, if I've got this right, 192 podiums in the series. So it really is a career that has seen so much growth, so much development, and so much success as well. So it must mean a hell of a lot to you to look back on that.
Yeah, it has been. The 20 years have flown by. Really, it doesn't feel like I've been in the championship for that long, and so much has changed as well. In terms of the cars, they've changed drastically from my very first car, and I think that's what keeps me coming back. Is that every year it feels fresh. The cars change, the competition changes. The past 3 years we've had hybrids, we've had turbo. Next year we've no hybrid. So with BTCC the championship evolves, so it never gets boring. There was a spell, I would say, in the middle of my career when I did dabble in other things. I did a little bit of world touring car. I raced in Swedish touring car, also Chinese touring car, but I always come back to BTCC. It's what I love, and I think it's the atmosphere you don't get. On the TOCA package, when you get that crowd of 30,000-40,000 people, you feel alive and you want to perform and do well. And when I went and did a bit of world touring car, yes, we have some amazing circuits, but there was hardly anybody there to watch, so you didn't get the same kick, the same buzz. So. For me now, I still so love the championship and want to keep racing. But I've also got 2 sons who are keen on the idea as well. So at some time very soon, I'm going to have to probably hand over the baton to my oldest son, Lewis. Anyhow, so but motorsport's been very kind, to us as a family. We've learned so much from it, and it's been the most amazing upbringing for my kids, because they've been at the circuit from they were babies, and the education they've got, through motorsport is more than they could have got at school. So that's probably the biggest takeaway, So a career in motorsport or a life in motorsport for anybody, is the most fantastic, passion and focus. That's what my kids are getting out of it. It gives them a direction. So. So yeah, we're loving it, and being at Simply Race here tonight, it's the season's finished now, 4 weeks, but still tempted to come and do another race. So obviously I love it.
Yes, and we're glad to have you doing another race. And you kind of touched on there as well, like you're passing your legacy on to your son, which is incredible to see, and incredible to see him start racing. But also gives us a little bit of a feel for the fact that you are more than just a driver. Of course, you've got off-track endeavours with sustainability and things like that. So really, that kind of feeds into a little bit as to what we're here to do tonight, which is be more than motorsport. So just how important was it for you to come down here and be here tonight?
I think, through the season, you're so focused and committed on your motorsport program, and, that's where 99% of your focus goes, and you're almost afraid to take the blinkers off and do other things. So, it's great in the off-season that I can come down and support such great charities as this. I wasn't aware of the young epilepsy charity, but when Mike from Simply Race asked if I would come down, I said absolutely no problem. It's a pleasure to try and give something back, because not everybody is as fortunate as me and gets the opportunity to go and race and sort of follow their passion. So it's nice to be able to support, and also we touched briefly on my son. He supports a campaign, Driving Dyslexia Forward, and we do quite a bit with that, just to to raise the awareness of dyslexia, that it's in motorsport it's not something that can hold you back. I think any of these conditions is a lot of times it's not something that can hold you back. You do your best to manage it, and once the helmet goes on, a lot of these things go to the side. So yeah, delighted to be here, and hope we can raise lots of money. There's some amazing items to in the raffle, and other items for people to bid on. So it'd be great if you could and support us down here in Milton Keynes.
Well, thank you, Colin. You've brought up a fantastic point, which is that this charity does so much for young people, and the impact of it is really, truly incredible. Every single penny counts, and you can see on your screen now just how your fundraising makes a real difference. I won't read them all out to you, as I'm sure you can do that yourself, but just so you know that every single penny really does make a difference, and we're so grateful for Simply Race for letting us come and do this event tonight. And Colin, we're going to let you get back to the driving. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Grab your mic from you. And we are now going to be joined by another very, very special guest, someone who is very used to being in front of the camera. I'm joined by motorsport presenter Amber Jones. Amber, come on in. Come join me. How are we? How's it going out there? I just saw that you just jumped out from your stint, so how did that go?
It's crazy. So obviously I've spoken a lot about Donington, that's the track that we're doing. However, racing Donington is such a whole different story. I'm like, wow, I forgot about this corner. When you're in it, you just don't think about it. I could know that track in and out on theory. When I'm actually in the rig, I'm like, oh, that's a blind corner. Remember, that's a blind corner. So yeah, it's been fun but difficult, but I'm loving it.
And you've got a really fantastic story. I think for people that don't know, we'll touch a little bit on that story, but you're sort of doing things in an interesting way. And I say that because, we see drivers a lot of the time, they retire from racing and then they maybe go into punditry and presenting and things like that. Amber's actually doing it the other way round. So you started off presenting, that was kind of what you started doing, where you honed your craft, and you're a former media student. And then now you're turning to the racing. So where did that come from, and why now?
Yeah, I actually wanted to be a racing driver. Anyone that's interested in racing when you're younger, I was like, Dad, I want to be a racing driver. And he's like, who's paying for that? Because it's not me. So all I would literally do is just go karting with all my friends. Every birthday was karting, any free time I had, but for fun, not competitively. Indoor karting all the time. And then I wanted to be an actor and all these things, and I was like, oh, actually, but I like presenting, always in front of the camera. And it was my dad that was like, why don't you do both? So then obviously I go into the presenting route, I find my feet in motorsport, presenting at university, first jobs with Aston Martin Formula 1 team. I thought, right, that's it, we're off, this is it for me now.
What a way to start.
Pressure to start, that you're not coming, down from that, you have to keep going up. And then, for me, I was getting these sort of opportunities because I had a little bit of racing background. It was do you want to drive this car? Do you want to do this? Can you do this type of content? Can you present and race? And I'm like, yeah, let's give it a go. And then now I'm fulfilling younger Amber's dreams. I really wanted to be a racing driver. So it is kind of the opposite way around, but I think it's just amazing that I can actually present and talk about the sport that I love so much, but then also race at the same time. So it's cool.
And such a special journey as well, because you're also a massive, massive advocate for women, and you also work doing some kind of advocacy for ethnic minorities as well. So why is that something that's so close to your heart, and you wanted to combine that with motorsport?
Definitely because of my childhood. I think that I didn't really have any girls to go racing with. So coming into this industry, I thought, That's what I want. I want more women involved because there is so many women interested. It's just sort of a lack of understanding of how do I get into it. There's this stigma that it's a male-dominated sport, and it is, but it doesn't have to be. There's nothing that says it has to be one gender only. So I was like, right, I can come into this, I can enjoy the sport myself, but also make an impact and work on this. You know, we need to see people that look like me, people of colour, mixed ethnicity, whatever it is, but also women. Like, what you're doing is amazing. People will look at you and go, I can do that. There'll be a little girl that will see all these women on the TV and be like, oh, wow, that's something I can do. If we don't have that, how can people realise it's something they can get into? So I'm like, we have to keep pushing it. We have to talk about it, hold events, you know, even if it's something you might not be good at. You know, sim racing is a bit of a difficulty for me, but I'm like, keep doing it, keep pushing at it, because if someone sees that and goes, wow, these women can do it, so can I.
Well, it's really inspiring stuff, Amber, and we know that a lot of your work has also been focused on the Jamie Chadwick series as well this year. Has Jamie given you any tips that might be useful for tonight?
Do you know what? Jamie actually said to me that sometimes she struggles in the sim, and that made me feel so much better. I was like, okay, if a real talented racing driver says that, I feel a bit better. You know, she's so strong on track. She's an amazing talent. So she has given me a few little tips, but it's like, if you're not really grip into it instantly, just calm. You know, it's one of those things. If you're great on track, that's all that matters.
Yeah, well, you have obviously already done your stint, so you can kind of relax a little bit now, but how's the team feeling?
Do you know what? I've got a mixed team, 100%. We have like one pro sim racer, we have someone that's never even raced before, and then someone that has like a little bit of experience. So there's kind of mixed emotions going on. We've got one that's like super headstrong, knows her stuff, and then someone else that's like, oh, I'm struggling on this corner and I don't know what to do there. So it's quite nice because it's not as if we have like a really strong team and I've come in going, oh gosh, I don't know what to do here, guys, I'm struggling. It's really nice. And we have Cami, who's the pro sim racer, and she is actually coaching us. As we're going through the corner, she's like, do this, don't do that, brake here, turn here, and it's amazing to have that, honestly.
All right, well, you heard it here first. If Amber's team aren't up there, then they have had coaching during the race, so we need to keep an eye on their team, definitely. Amber, thank you so much for joining me. And of course, we are, as we have, keep reminding you, we are here for an amazing charity and an amazing cause tonight. So we thank all of our team leaders, and we're going to hear another one of those amazing stories right now.
No one saw how my epilepsy was affecting me mentally. I wasn't getting the right support. I couldn't see a reason to go on, so I tried to end my life. But the youth support worker at Young Epilepsy was amazing. He helped me understand how to live with my epilepsy. It transformed me. With your support, Young Epilepsy can continue to help young people living with epilepsy to live safer, healthier and happier lives. Join us, because together we create possible.
Yeah, it was really, really good fun. Best shunt so far was, well,
I saw you upside down at one point.
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of a sketchy curb on the exit. Yeah, on the exit of Old Hairpin as we're coming round to here. This curb right here has been flipping people.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Landmining, as Jimmy Roberts said.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a heads or tails one whenever you come round to that with how much you want to use. I'm a little bit scared for that for my stint, to be honest.
I was going to say that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
When are you in the car? Are you doing the final stint?
I'm doing the final stint. Yeah, I'm going to the end.
Bring it home.
I'm going to be in about 15 minutes, something like that. 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I won't be with you for too long, which I'm sure you and the audience will be extremely relieved to
Sad
hear.
about.
Yeah, I won't be here for long. Yeah.
That's all good, mate. All good. It's great to have your company, Gordy. And what have you made of the event as a whole so far?
It's
I mean, the atmosphere is incredible.
Amazing.
It's just
unreal. Honestly, obviously, I actually work here myself.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, I think this was the first job that I had when I actually moved down south in 2022. So I've been working here for the past 2 going on 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I can confidently say that this is the most lively that the venue has ever been. It's a good event when it's really, really hot, even though you've got the air conditioning on full blast.
Oh, it's boiling out there.
Yeah. But, nobody cares about that. Everyone's having a lot of fun. It's for a good cause, and it's going absolutely amazing.
It's absolutely mega, isn't it? Absolutely mega. And at the end of the day, you know, it's one of those things where, I mean, I've done a few events here with Will Dundee with his Simply Race Classics that he often does, and you know, seeing it when there's a full complement of drivers in here when they get 15 drivers in, but to see over 60 people, I think we had something like 78 people out there earlier. It's just balmy to see it all completely shoulder to shoulder. It takes a good 5 minutes to walk from one end of the venue to the other, doesn't it?
Honestly, when I came in, 5:30 was the arriving time.
Yes.
For everyone. I came in, and from 5:30, it was the busiest that I've ever seen the venue. Ever seen the venue. You know, it's like I said, you know it's busy when there's 4 people behind the desk.
Yeah.
Because, you know, me, myself, or Grant. I mean, we run Friday Night Unlimited. You know, and that's of course 30 people. We can one-man that. Oh, you see someone upside down.
Someone's flipped over. There's one of the landmines you mentioned. Is that number 6? No, that's the Brooks car, I think. Car 88.
Upside down, where it belongs. Fantastic.
Well, to be fair, Tom Brooks dug his own grave with this, because he came in earlier and pointed out to me that there is a bit of a commentators race going on between himself, Harry Benjamin, Tom Gaymore, and obviously Jimmy as well for his work that he's done commentating. Tom inadvertently pointed out that they were winning that, and now, as a result, are not.
Yeah.
He actually came in here gloating when they took the lead. Yeah, he opened the door just to shout.
Yeah.
And I think his commentators cursed himself and the team.
He should know better.
He should.
He should know better. As a commentator, he should know about the curse.
Yeah, 100%.
Just forget
Speaking
about
of commentators, we've got Tom Gaymore's company in the room as well. He's come to make sure we're not slating him, which we very much are. But what have you made of it behind the wheel so far, Gordy? Because while everyone says, you know, it is, of course, for a good cause, not competitive, as we see contact with Brooks.
Just we see someone forgetting to hit the brake there. And then,
accidentally.
Oh, and
hello. Oh my God! Oh, there's cars absolutely everywhere. This is another example of why damage isn't on, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we would have been down to maybe one car if damage
probably
was on. Yeah, absolutely.
It would have been survival of the fittest.
Yeah, I mean, the event itself is actually, you know, you've got a lot of pros here, and a lot of the pros actually know each other. You know, you got, obviously some of the FIA F3 and FIF2 boys here, Zakosala and Hajar, Loke. You know, you got Manso, you got a few of the boys here. They're all racing against each other in real life. So even though this is a fun event, we definitely see the competitive side of the pro drivers. I think for the people that aren't the pros, you know, they're just here to drive around, have a bit of fun. But you know, there's egos on the line here. Don't get it wrong. And 100%. We're here for charity, but you know, each one of these pro drivers are actually going to be looking at the timing sheets to see what everyone else is doing. They're actually really competitive. We're here at race.
Well, that's my. It was a loaded question, really, to you in that regard as well. Whether you're at that competitive level with even these boys, because obviously you're not a bad peddler yourself behind the wheel.
Of course.
We had.
You know what it looks like? If they're coming into the pits, they've just pressed the pit limiter really, really early.
No, that everybody is running at that speed. Is that full course yellow, Ryan?
Maybe, but I've not been informed.
Oh, that's very interesting. Either that or the cars have been just reduced in terms of power. I don't know. Yeah, Tom Gamore's just said this is the speed he's comfortable with.
A bit of race control, because from race control, of course, working from the desk, you can actually apply the pit speed limiter to all the cars at once.
Do you think they've done this to mess with them?
I'm not entirely sure. There will be Grant and Dana running the event, both of which are
mischievous.
Well, I was going to say relatively sane, so there must be a good reason behind this.
Yeah.
So they're up to something. But if this is the case, I might pop as team manager.
Yeah.
Perhaps I might pop out and just see what's going on.
Assert your authority, Gordy.
I think so.
Any final words before you go then?
Live fast, don't crash.
I'm glad you finished it with that, because there's another version that people always say.
Yeah, and support young epilepsy.
Thank you very much, Gordy. Absolute pleasure. Cheers, mate. See you again soon.
Thanks for having me.
Gordy Much, everybody, hops out. Thanks very much. And I'm delighted to say that I'm going to be joined by another co-commentator of mine, and I get to call him a co-commentator. It's like an honour. Tom Gaymore, hello.
Yeah, this means I don't have to concentrate. I can just...
it's muscle memory.
I can just look at the pictures and speak when spoken to and not have to think about what's coming next.
How are you finding it so far, mate? You enjoying yourself out there?
I am indeed, actually. So my second stint was much better than my first stint. So I was not as quick as I would have hoped to have been during my first go and practice.
Everyone said that so far, don't worry.
But I'm proud to say I've lost a few seconds on my personal best in that second stint. So down to a 1:07.9, which is nowhere near as competitive as quite a lot of the people here. But I am 43 years of age and came from an era where this didn't exist when I was racing. So
they had good excuse books back then.
Absolutely, I had goggles and a hard hat.
Yeah. To be fair, with some of the driving out there at the minute, you'd probably need it, wouldn't you? Because it's been a bit brutal at points.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a little go at Team Loke as well when they came up the inside of me at McLean's. Got the old switchback and fired them off on the exit, which was very unsavoury as a back marker. But I felt I needed to get my knees.
You mean they cut across your nose?
Yeah, I needed to get my knees and elbows out, as they'd say in bike racing. So
absolutely. But what have you made of the event so far? I mean, it's
you know what,
epic,
it's great.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. So you get out of these what you put in, and Chris and the whole team have put a huge amount in. The whole team at Young Epilepsy, the whole team at Simply Race, and everyone behind the broadcast as well, and everybody that's come here today. You know that. They've come because Chris is a top guy, because it's a really important cause, but you know everybody at this time of year wants to have fun at the end of the season as well, and that's what today's all about. It's about doing it and having fun. So I'm really impressed with what he's achieved. He's come a long way from when he was on the Advanced Apprenticeship of Sporting Excellence at the MSA. I was one of his sort of mentors, if you like, when that's how we first met.
Yeah.
And we've got a similar story in the sense that I stopped racing through injury and found a career in commentary, and of course he stopped racing for various different reasons, one of them epilepsy, but you know he's found a wonderful foothold in commentary, and nothing's come easy for him, but he's made the most of all the opportunities that have come his way.
Yeah.
And now he's giving back, and you know, at a young age, that's lovely to see.
Yeah, absolutely is. You're absolutely right, and it's great to see that story. You know, it makes it even better to know that he's doing so much still, and it's not been seen. Oh, that's Will Dendy's car that's just been off the road. I'm not sure if that was cheating. We're trying to get an update on why all the cars are doing this. We've got an issue with one of the cars, I believe, which is the number 45 machine of Team Ep. So I think everybody's
That's impressive. They've not finished before the finish.
Yeah.
Which is
that's quite impressive, isn't it?
That's
very, very impressive.
I'm really impressed with that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, my own story, Tom, cannot compare, because I just basically, you know, I winged it through COVID, but it's because my mum says I've had 30 years practice talking rubbish. I may as well get paid for it. So.
Well, you do a good job.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to finally meet you as well, actually. It's been a long time coming before this event.
Yeah, and actually, you know, maybe see what I look like. Yeah, people recognise my voice before they recognise my face, because that's the joys and the wonder of quality.
I always have to apologise to people when they meet me in person, because they always think I look better than they imagine me looking better than I actually do.
Yeah.
I'm not as round in people's.
You look good for 21, mate.
Thanks. Oh God, Jesus. And you said you were 43. I thought, flipping heck.
I know. I've had a downhill paper round. If I shave, I look even younger. I've not had a proper job yet.
I've never heard that before. I like that. But, you know, what a fantastic group of people we've got. There's people from all corners of motorsport and sim racing and just the industry in a whole. But, you know, the fact that everybody seems to know everybody just makes it even more sweet, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's good. And there's people that I've not seen all year, because people get busy, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their own individual program, whether or not they're driving, whether or not they're part of a team, a production, whatever it is. And so you really, by the end of the year, miss seeing so many people. And, you know, there's people I've not seen for absolutely years. The Bunkums is good.
Right, let's chat to some of the people who's in and around this area once again. Of course, the racing is not exactly exhilarating while we're under Code 60. So let's get some of the atmosphere. Why don't I start with Charlotte, who's one of the people from Young Epilepsy. Charlotte, you're one of the people that's helped put all of this together. Just talk to us about what you do at Young Epilepsy.
So I work in the comms team at Young Epilepsy. So we're there raising awareness for the charity and all the work we do, helping more people find us so they can get support and information. There's more than 100,000 children and young people living with epilepsy in the UK today, and our aim is to let them all know that we're here if they need anything.
Absolutely, of course, and well, part of this event is raising awareness for that it exists, what it is, so that people can be more understanding, of course.
Absolutely, an event like this is amazing for us. It helps spread the word to a whole new audience, and we are really excited to see everyone here tonight and supporting it is just great.
And having great fun as well, because of course, you know, a lot of the people with epilepsy, you don't get the opportunity to drive either on circuit or on the roads, but in a simulator, it's possible.
100%. We've got young people here tonight who have never driven on the road, who are really nervous, but they're in the sim, they're racing and having a great time. It's fantastic to see.
Amazing. And have you had a chance to jump in the simulators?
Not yet. Maybe after the race I'll get a quick go on there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, what can people do to help out with Young Epilepsy?
So we have a website which is dedicated to providing information and support to young people and their families. But if anyone wants to follow us on social media at Young Epilepsy, we're on all the channels, and we would love that. And just spread the word. We want everyone to understand the condition. It doesn't need to be a barrier to living a fulfilling life. And yeah, that's it.
As we've seen, of course, Chris McCarthy's helped put this together, and he's having an amazing career, but also championing people with epilepsy because he has it himself and still does amazing things.
It's an inspirational story. Chris's story is so powerful, and we're hoping that sharing that with young people is really getting the word out there about what you can do.
Charlotte, thank you so much for chatting to us. Continue with the good work. We love what you're doing, and also, at home, of course, you can find out, spread the word, but you can also donate.
Of course, we would love you to donate. Please do.
If you can, that would be amazing. I think we've just clicked over. Yeah, £5,265. I must say, a huge donation from Simply Race, the venue we're at right now. Massive thank you to them for putting on the event and donating as well. Charlotte, I'll leave you to your evening, going and supporting and spreading the good word as you're doing so far. And we're going to grab a word with some other people kicking about if we can. I was hoping to wander over into this corner of the simulator centre because if you were watching about half an hour ago, Isaac Hadjar, a Formula 2 driver, an outstanding job of doing a lap without braking, and he nominated Christian Mansell to do the next challenge. Unfortunately, Christian is not in the car at the moment, so can't be the one to do the challenge, but you're going to nominate someone to try and do the challenge instead. Let's hope. Who's your nomination?
Probably say Cameron.
Cameron Dass. Is he in the car, do we know?
Yeah, I think he is, yeah.
Perfect. Right. Thank you very much, Christian. Let's go and talk to Cameron Dass, because, of course, you voted at home in the poll, which is on Tiltify, and it was going to be the next driver. Do they have to listen to Chaz's commentary in their ear for a whole lap, or do they have to listen to my random facts? Well, you voted resoundingly for Chaz's commentary, and hopefully, I don't know whether producer James can get Chaz to let him know that we are about to come into talk to Cameron Dass. Let me know, producer James, when it's ready, because currently we're under code 60. As soon as Chaz is ready, we'll help on him. But why don't we, while I wait for that word, I'm going to pop on in here. I'm going to interrupt your chat here. Cam, I've seen you drive faster than this before.
What's that, sorry?
I've seen you drive, let me just, there we go. I've seen you drive faster than this before.
Yeah, especially around this track. I think I had a couple of good races here in the past, but this is not what I imagined.
That's an interesting line taken by Team Dendy.
That could have ended poorly.
Of course, we're under a bit of a code 60 at the moment.
Yes, I'm just trying to make the shortest distance possible, so I'm driving around the white line, around the edge of the track. I have gained about half a car length on the car behind me, so it is working.
But you're losing out to Team Dendy, so you're clearly not doing something right.
No, I really am tempted to hit this green button and just send it, but we're in a good position in this race, so we just need to be consistent, and we might have a fair shot at winning this.
Yeah, very good position. You've got a good team behind you, of course. I don't know whether you know, but we've been running polls this evening for people watching the stream for challenges for our team leaders. Isaac Hadjar had to do a lap with no brakes and did it very successfully. Only one small spin, but other than that, very good lap. He then nominated Christian Mansell to do the next challenge. Christian isn't in the car. He's going out last in. And Christian nominated you as tribute. Okay. So your challenge in a few moments' time, when I get the word in my ear from producer James, is you're going to have to listen to a lap of commentary from our wonderful commentator Chaz Draycott. I'll probably come back when that's confirmed, but you carry on driving at 37 miles an hour. while we get that set up. And in the meantime, we'll do some interviews. Hopefully, Chaz will be able to be communicated to shortly, and I can get that. That's a challenge forfeit, I don't know. We'll wander around and chat to people. Why don't we grab Joseph Loke? He's walking through. Joseph Loke, talk to us. You know, we've had for those of you who don't know you, I mean, everyone knows who you are, but if they don't, who are you, what do you do, what are you about?
I'm Joseph Loke. I raced in Formula 3 last year.
This year?
Yeah, this year. Last year, same thing for me. But yeah, racing Formula 3 this year, we rode in. Had a tricky year, but it was good fun.
And you, of course, raced in GB3 the year before with JHR Developments. Of course, Jonas, who is around somewhere, and myself, we present that, and very successful in that third place in that very strong debut season, that championship. Of course, the height of your career is racing in the Setting Purple Sectors event supporting young epilepsy.
Of course. It's really cool to be here. Obviously, really important charity to a lot of young people, so it's good to be here to support it. That was a voice crack.
It was. It's okay, you're a growing man.
Yeah, well, I'm only 19. I'll let myself slip. But yeah, no, good to be here and good to be supporting a good cause.
And pretty quick in qualifying there.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know it was qualifying, if I'm honest. I was just driving around.
You weren't listening in the driver's briefing?
I was.
Clearly not, because they said it was qualifying, I remember.
Okay, well, maybe I missed that little bit.
Anyway, how's your team doing?
I actually don't know. I haven't been playing. We're in the fight for the lead, which is cool. I think we were leading by like 10 seconds, and then I put it in the wall, which is obviously not great.
Not ideal.
But we're here for a good cause, and that's the main thing.
Here for a good time.
We're not here to win. We're here to be here for...
Racing drivers' excuses coming out. Joseph, thanks for chatting to us. I'm going to wander through, and I'm going to hopefully grab a word with some more of our well-known guests. Let's head into the corner that we haven't been into, the dark corner in the corner. We've got a lot of very successful drivers. We've got a lot of not so successful drivers. We've got a lot of fans, friends, family of drivers. I'm hoping to grab a word with one of our team leaders. Yes, here he is. Mr. Epps, let's grab a word. Come on out. I know you're intently looking on. Giving some
fun here, yeah.
You looked like you were giving some intense coaching at 37 miles an hour there.
Well, at 37 mile an hour, you need the most intense coaching there is, you know.
And that is what you do. Of course, you are a coach to the racing stars of the future. Talk to us about what you do.
So since about 2019, kind of hung up the lid myself. Haven't really been racing that much.
You say hung up the lid. You know, you had a racing career yourself. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so since about 2005, I think, when I look back.
I didn't realise you were that old.
But yeah, I know. I feel my age now because I've had days now where I'm coaching people half my age, and I'm like, wow, that's a confirmation of age. But no, I started in 2005, did 5 years of karting, Formula Renault, did some racing estates, USF 2000. I then went British touring cars. I've done some hatchback racing, some GTs. I've done a whole bunch of other little one-offs as well.
While also being rapid in the sim.
Ish, not today.
Okay. Well, you were second on the grid, weren't you?
Yeah, I was all right. I did a good lap, to be fair, but I think I haven't really driven this sim in quite a while, and I wouldn't say it's my niche at this point, so I definitely had a bit of an entertaining first stint just there. But yeah, and then I took up coaching about 2017, 2018 on the side of racing. Kind of picked it up, learned a bit from other drivers as well, because everyone's got their own different styles, their own different things that make them good. Had quite a lot of success with a few drivers over 2019, 2020, 21, 22, and it all kind of just grew from there. And now I'm working with the likes of Joseph this year in F3.
And against him in this race?
Yeah, well, definitely against him, yeah.
Did you put him in the wall?
I think he put himself in the wall, but he must have taken advice from how I did it a lap before, so maybe that was it, I don't know. But yeah, all in all, it's been a great... almost like recovery from the pain of not racing, because it is really hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's you know the pain yourself, and it's what do you do with yourself? You know, you spent your whole time working up to this, so to be able to put that energy into the lives of up and coming drivers now with budget, helping them structure their careers, using my mistakes, my previous drivers' mistakes to help them not make the same mistakes and see how far they can get. It really drives me to.
Gives you purpose.
Yeah, I guess, and it also, I would like to try and see if I can get someone as high up as their potential is in the sport. So next year's exciting. Hopefully, the years after are the same thing.
Of course, you coached Joseph Loke in GB3 in 2022.
No, he did F4 22.
So it'll be 23, yes. And then this year you were helping Joseph as well as in GB3.
Bennett in GB3.
Strong year from him.
Yeah, very strong. So he really turned things around for him. He had quite a tough year the season before, and I think every driver's got their own set of strengths and weaknesses, and I just sort of tuned into what John needed.
And their personality as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone does it differently, and John was just a case of a bit more up the ante. Like, he definitely has the ability, he's got the mental strength. So it's just a case of, right, well, let's change these things around. I think he wanted to be the loved one in a team as well. And it does help. If you look every team in every championship, there's always a driver that's really driving things forward for them. And he was able to take those reins at the start of the year this year, drive it forward, and that was the result. So he missed out by a pinch.
It was close, took it to the last round, but it must be rewarding as a coach to get them to the position where they could win the championship.
Yeah, 100%. And GB3 and a lot of championships now are implementing these reverse grid race schedules, and it makes it almost a bit more touring car in terms of how you have to plan a championship out. You have to perform every time, and John had a couple of setbacks in early on or mid-season that kind of knocked him back. Sharp had a few of those, a couple of his other competitors have the same, and it comes down to the last round and you do the whole ifs, buts, shoulda, woulda.
Ifs and buts. But anyway, Mike, thanks very much for catching up with us. I believe we're actually going racing again, so I'll let you go and do your coaching.
Yeah, I'll try.
We're going to go and chat to Cameron Dass. We mentioned a moment ago that Cameron had been volunteered as tribute by Christian Mansell to have a lap of the dulcet tones of our commentator, Chaz Draycott. And now I'm going to go and put that into action. Oh no, Cameron's jumped out of the sim. Oh, this is very disappointing. I can't believe it. We had it all teed up. We all had it ready to go. I've missed it. Do you know what? Let's just go and choose someone else. I'm just going to see if there's any of our team captains in the simulators. No, not over here. We've got some punters going on over here. Who is in the sim that we can terrorise? Or Chaz can, at least. No, not over there. Oh, it is Christian Mansell. Oh, perfect timing. Hello, Christian. You volunteered Cameron Dass as tribute. Cameron's now no longer in the sim, so it is your turn. I reckon starting end of this lap, we're going to get Chaz to commentate in your ear. But for now, how's the car feel on circuit? A bit of extra rotation needed?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm just pushing the entries too much, though, so just need to find a better rhythm.
Who are you chasing down at the moment?
The magic ghost.
Ghost driver.
Yeah, in P1 at the moment, so just trying to be consistent and bring it home.
Team Broadbent, can take a bit of a wide line. Can we go around the outside?
Yeah.
He's been squeezed off of the road. Team Broadbent taking an aggressive line there, and that team Hadro going through. But anyway, Chaz Draycott is going to talk you through a lap, and I will. Wow, that's some drama going ahead. I'll leave Chaz to talk through that. Chaz, over to you.
Oh, someone's just gone off at the old hairpin.
Oh, yeah,
look, Chaz in your ear.
That's the leader.
I can't, hang on.
No,
can you hear Chaz?
No.
We can't hear Chaz?
That's Team Das.
Well, producer James, let me know when Chaz is ready. Can you hear Chaz in your ears?
So they've dropped down to third now. That's not because of the crash, because of their pit.
Chaz, are you there?
Shazzy.
Shazza. Do you know what? We'll come back to you, Christian. We'll let you wrestle with the car, and we'll come back to you when that's sorted. Let's grab a word with another one of our wonderful members, special guests, including this man here, Harry Benjamin. Harry, we know it. What's this? Athlete's meal.
Don't look. Yeah, the diet's going really well.
Actually, to be fair, it's Fire Away have helped us out this evening. They've got a good deal on.
Well, then it's for charity, so it's all good.
Absolutely. Harry, have you been in the car yet?
I have not. No. Well, I qualified.
Qualified. So, are your team's hopes going to go up or down when that happens?
No mistake, they'll go down. Absolutely, no mistake. But it depends how the strategy pans out. I can be consistent, I think. If I can keep it on the road, then we're on to something. I've just got to avoid getting into an incident, either by myself or with another car. Then I think we'll be all right.
Absolutely. And how is it being on the other side of the commentary, as in you're being commentated on driving? Is it easier talking about it or doing it?
It's much easier talking about it. I really am not enjoying it at all. This is out of my comfort zone. I'll tell you what, it's quite fun co-commentating with Chaz. That was good. Felt way easier than actual commentating. It was great. But no, I mean, I've got a brilliant team. We've got Kieran, who did our opening stint. He's been representing the UK at the Motorsport Games. We've got Chris Bunkum, a Le Mans winner on our team. I've loved that. We've got Tom, who's on the sim right now, and he's just a pretty savvy sim driver. And then you've got me for the moral support and the pizza. So at the moment, it's all going. We're solid P5 at the moment. So I reckon a podium is still within sight.
Amazing. Well, Harry, good luck. Go well. Hopefully that pizza will fuel you to victory.
It will. Thank you.
It smells good.
It's bloody good. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. He's a consummate professional, of course. I just heard a little tickle in my ear. Do we have Chaz? Can I get confirmation? Unfortunately, technical gremlins are in the way, so Christian Mansell's got off lightly. But we're going to start our final poll, I believe, which is going to be which challenge should the next challenger complete? Are they going to have to go live on their social media whilst driving? So they're going to go live on the social media, or are they going to get interviewed by another team leader whilst driving? So that's something you can vote on again at home, alongside your donations. Of course, if you want to donate, just from the goodness of your heart and because you love the charity Young Epilepsy, and hopefully you've been inspired by some of the stories we've brought to you today. That would be great. But yeah, so just a reminder, the poll is what challenge should the next challenger complete? Will it be go live on social media whilst driving, or get interviewed by another team leader? So make sure you get voting on that. Of course, links to Tiltify to donate, to vote on the polls, and also just to learn a bit more about the Young Epilepsy charity, which is youngepilepsy.org.uk. Links in the description below, to the side, QR codes. You know what you're doing by now. But anyway, I'm going to hand back, I think, to Izzy, who may have someone else to talk to.
Thanks, Piers. Yes, there's plenty of action going on around the venue right now. I'm now joined by another driver, our third Formula 2 driver of the night, no less, Williams Academy driver Zach O'Sullivan. Zach, fantastic to have you with us. Now, as I just mentioned, of course, we've had 2 other Formula 2 drivers in the hot seat tonight with me. So is there a little bit of a rivalry there?
I guess so. I mean, it's a charity race, but I think we all got pretty competitive. A lot of the pros started the first stint, so we were all trying to make the first stint as long as possible, and we're racing each other. But no, I guess there's always a bit of a rivalry, whether it's on track in reality or virtual.
And you've already had your stint as well, so how did your stint go, and how did it feel being back on Donington Park, which you probably haven't been to in quite a while?
I haven't been to Donington or raced at it since 2021 in GB3, so a bit of a while. But no, my stint went well. Ended the stint really close to the lead, I think half a second off. I don't know where we are now, P6, so one of those things. But
room to climb back up the order, room
exactly.
to climb, of course. Zach, F2 this year, I mean, you took a fantastic win in Monaco in quite crazy circumstances, and just how has that season been? And you must be so proud to take a win in Monaco of all places.
Yeah, pretty cool place to take a win. I mean, everyone wants to win, but I think Monaco is one that's quite nice to win, of course. But no, a season of learning, my first year in F2, and bit of a step up from F3 in terms of how many things you have to manage in the race. But no, I enjoyed it, which is the main thing. But yeah, a good season overall.
And I'm sure a lot of people would like to know really the ins and outs and what it's like to drive an F3 car versus an F2 car. Of course, there was a new F2 car this year for everybody to get to grips with. So what were the main differences and learning points between those?
Yeah, let's say old F3 to old F2 wasn't actually that much of a difference. They were quite similar aerodynamics, and the behaviour kind of characteristics of the car were quite similar. Obviously, the races are a bit longer and you have a pit stop in F2. But the new car threw a kind of spanner in the works for everyone, I think. The ground effect proved quite difficult to get the hang of. I mean, if F1 teams are struggling with it, then us little F2 teams are going to struggle as well. So it completely kind of shook up the pecking order, and I think made the races a bit more unpredictable, which is not so nice when you're competing, but good for the fans. So yeah, a pretty different car now to what F3 is. Obviously, F3 has a new car this coming season, which I think is more in line with the F2 regulations, so it should kind of diverge again. But a bit of a unique year where one category gets the upgrade and the other doesn't.
And of course, you are a member of the Williams Driver Academy, so they've sort of supported you through that season. Just tell us how it is to be kind of on the inside of an F1 team. I mean, something that not many people get to see and get to experience.
No, I've really enjoyed my time there. Joined when I was 16, so I've been there for over 3 years now, and really know everyone at the team very well. I'm down at Grove a lot for simulator work and trying to help the team as best I can.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the simulator, I mean, we're sim racing tonight, but obviously a different type of simulator and probably much more sophisticated. So what do you think is like the biggest thing you've learned from being in that environment?
You learn a lot. I mean, I think the main thing is, although they're very different categories comparing F2 to F1 or F3 to F1, a lot of the problems they have in F1 or solutions they have to find are very similar to the issues you have in F3 and F2. And although they're on a different scale, you still learn quite a lot and little things they're working on. And of course, it's good being involved with a Formula 1 team where the level of professionalism is a bit higher than the junior series. So no, it meant a big amount to me.
And of course, Williams is a prestigious name and brings so much history and so much heritage with it. And I'm sure many people will have followed your story as part of the Williams Driver Academy. Of course, we've got many people here tonight who definitely will have wanted to come and talk to you, would have wanted to come and pick your brain. Does it ever wear off, that kind of feeling that all people actually, you know, they're interested in talking to me?
No, not really. I mean, it's quite a cool event here. Obviously, we're racing with these people as well, which is cool, and on track, well, virtually on track with them. And also, I've got my team. I'm a team leader tonight, so I've got my team of 3 guys. I'm trying to help win the race if we can, which is cool, and it gives them kind of an inside route into a kind of small version of what it's like to be competing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that's something that we maybe haven't touched on that much, is that how special it is that these people can come along and race against you guys who have had so much professional experience. And it truly is a special event, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really cool, something unique. And like you said, I think it's quite rare you get to race properly against racing drivers, whether it be virtual or in reality. But yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for coming and sitting in the hot seat and letting me question you. So, of course, you have been in the car. You know what it's like. We're now going to bring in yet another racing driver that we've had with us tonight. Cameron Dass is now going to come and join us. So we'll swap Zach for Cameron. Thank you, Zach, very much. And Cameron's going to come and join me now.
Hello.
Cameron, great to see you. I know you've just jumped out of your stint because I actually had a little look and had a little peek at what you were up to. So how was it? How has it been?
It was great. Our team's been doing fantastic. It also helps that I'm not the fastest driver in the team, so I can rely on someone else to kind of put in the work. But yeah, we had that VSC period there for a little while, so I was just like, I mean, I think I did 10 or 15 minutes of green flag running. My math might be wrong there. But then I was just focused on like shortest line possible, trying to gain anything I possibly could, and then I threw it all away on the pit stop with a slow driver change. So.
Oh well,
yeah.
There's still time. There's still time for your team to climb back up there. As I said to Zach, we've still got time. Cameron, let's just take it back a little bit with your career. We had Harry Benjamin on earlier, who commentated on your 2021 Euro Formula Open Championship. Have you had a chance to catch up with him? Because he said that he was going to go and find you and maybe get a photo.
Yeah, we did catch up. I did an interview with him for my podcast as well, and Harry's upbringing into the sport is really interesting as well. But yeah, I mean, it's a room full of a lot of pretty amazing people in the motorsport space. It's also a stacked grid. Like this, you know, I haven't come across a driver who wasn't like seriously impressive. So even on our team, we have one driver who's really never done any sim at all, and I would have never known. He really just got into it and put his head down. So.
And of course, a lot of what you do now is kind of bringing in that next generation. Of course, many of the people that you raced on the same grid as in 2021, you know, they're sort of moving through the ranks, moving to IndyCar, things like that. Louis Foster, Christian Mansell, Christian, who's here tonight, people like that. So how special is that to see that new generation coming through?
100%. I mean, that's kind of my main focus now, is making racing more accessible for the next generation. I started in rental karting at the age of 14, which is relatively late for this sport. And if it hadn't been for just meeting the right people at rental karting events and in sim racing events, then I would have never had a chance to get into this sport. So for me, it's about giving back. It's about getting that next generation in, especially as sim racing is becoming more accessible. Rental karting facilities are being built across the world. So this has never been a better time to get, you know, into motorsports.
And off the back of that 2021 championship, I know we've talked about that a little bit, but to move on from that, you really threw yourself into a different aspect of the sport, which is content creation. You've built this amazing, like really impressive platform.
Thank you.
And you have your karting handbook. So just tell the viewers at home kind of where the inspiration and the idea for that came from and what pushed you to do that.
Well, honestly, initially it wasn't by choice. It was, I won Euro Formula in 2021, and I had the offers on the table to do F2 the following year, but I needed to raise something like 3 or 4 million euros in 2 months, and I was like, I have no idea how to do that. So I was like, you know what? Instead of taking a sidestep or going down a level, I'd rather, let's just figure out a way to raise money more efficiently. And to me, it was like no one was trying content creation. I now know that it's much harder than I initially thought it was going to be, but yeah, I just think that this new generation of drivers, the drivers that aren't coming from like immense amount of wealth, they're going to need to think creatively. And to me, I just want to be that soundboard and that inspiration for the next generation to utilize content creation and social media to get them into this sport legitimately.
And part of the reason why we're so thrilled to have you here tonight is exactly what you just said, which is, making motorsport more accessible and more open, so people can see it and say, I want to get involved with
100%.
that. And it really has been, a fantastic way to do that, and why we're so thrilled to have you here tonight. So just a word on this fantastic event and the charity Young Epilepsy, who are really opening up a world of opportunities for those young people.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be a part of this.
Yeah, it has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, I've been quite overwhelmed with the amount of people that have been so generous in donating and everything like that. Last question then, is there anyone that you've got your eye on that you think might take the win tonight?
The Mansell team, I met Christian. I know Christian because we were teammates for a period of time as well, and I know he's very clinical, and I know he'll be coaching his team really well. I think the coaching actually makes a huge difference, right? Because you're with the slower drivers, all it takes is one or two little piece of advice, and they could gain seconds of lap time, right? This isn't a driver between a race between the pros. This is a race between the people who are being coached. So I have no doubts. I mean, I've already seen his team improve tremendously from the start of this race. I think they're the ones to watch.
Well, Cameron, it's been great to have your insight tonight, and thank you so much for coming and joining us down at Simply Race, and also giving us that little piece of information, because we'll keep an eye on the Mansell team as things carry on as we come into the closing stages of the race. Thank you so much for joining us and helping us share this story about Young Epilepsy and our message, and we're now going to hear a little bit more about that story.
My seizures are really scary.
Tyler was born with cerebral palsy. He also has global delay, ADHD, and scoliosis. It's Tyler's epilepsy that petrifies us the most. Our world can flip upside down in an instant. His seizures are long and very aggressive. He suffers hallucinations and is often very sick. There have been a few times where Tyler has been hospitalized. We are a strong family, but it's Tyler's epilepsy that makes us feel very powerless. Treatments for childhood epilepsy are a lifeline. They give us back a level of control over our lives. They are our security blanket. The work Young Epilepsy are doing to improve treatments for children with epilepsy is life-changing. Medication helps me keep him safe, and that fills us with hope for families like ours.
Helps me do the things I love.
With your support, Young Epilepsy can continue to help young people living with epilepsy to live safer, healthier, and happier lives. Join us because together we create possible.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Cheers. Thanks very much, Tom. Much appreciated. Great to have you in the box with me. And now we look back at the top 10. So it's Team Loke from Team Mansell, Team Broadbent up into third position after the dramas of earlier, followed by Team Gaudy Much, Isaac Hadjar in fifth place, Harry Benjamin's team in sixth position, Team O'Sullivan, Team Das, Team Brooks, and Tom Gamore's team in 10th place. We currently have £5,295 donated. Thank you so much to all of you. Another penalty for Team Dendy. Again, I say surprise, surprise. GT Motorsport have donated £10 as well. Tom Cairns has also donated a tenner. Thank you very much to each and every one of you that has donated so far. It is massively, massively appreciated, and we hope that you enjoy the final part of this race here at Simply Race, set in purple sectors for Young Epilepsy, an amazing event set up by Chris McCarthy and the great people at the Young Epilepsy charity, including drivers such as those at Team Jones that you just saw spiralling through the air of Derbyshire and Leicestershire as well. Thanks also to SteelSeries and MSI, the sponsors of this event, also the support from Fireaway, and of course to the people at Simply Race, where we are obviously running this event from, and Alpha Live, who are running the broadcast as well. My name's Chaz Draycott, the commentator for this event, and you'll have seen if you watch the show stream, we have two streams on, by the way, the race stream and the show stream. Over on the show, you'll see my wonderful colleagues Izzy Browning and Piers Pryor, who will be speaking to drivers and teams and everybody around the venue and providing a lot of fun to be had throughout. But Team Loke currently lead the way in car number 36. They are 15.5 seconds ahead of Team Mansell, with Team Broadbent in third position. Going down through the old hairpin at the moment, using all of the curb on the exit, and then back up the hill towards McLean's. There's Team Epps trying to get one over on the Tom Gaymore team. Down the inside they go, and back up into 10th place. Can the Gaymore team get back at them, though, in the next couple of moments? A little look down the inside there into Coppice, but nothing doing this time round. As they go down the back straight once more towards the chicane. You've got a long old time to think about that braking zone before you throw it in right and then throw it left. Up over the slight crest. It's not easy to get that chicane right. It looks very easy and flat from where we are with our TV cameras, but no, it's definitely not the case. The car wants to break away from you over the crest. I'd argue this is Mike Epps behind the wheel actually right now. I don't think he did the first stint for his team, but he's having a good old run of it, whoever is behind the wheel right now, showing fantastic competence and great racing lines over the first, even the final sector, as well as we joined them a moment ago. Here's Team Mansell currently running in second position, currently 15.5 seconds off, but again, clearly a very competent racer behind the wheel, keeping it nice and tidy. That's what it's all about. They often hear in motorsport that the ones that don't look fast, as I say it, the ones that don't look fast are the ones that are going fast. Team Mansell going a little bit too fast for their own good there. To quote another favourite commentator of mine, Charlie Cox, there's too much horsepower, not enough grip, and that's just psychological. Team Mansell then losing yet more time. You couldn't write this stuff. That's commentator's curse right there. Team Epps continue this charge forward, now right behind Team Brooks, car number 88, as they cross the line. Piers Pryor donating £20. Thank you very much, Piers. As Brooks, he's been absolutely smacked by Team Epps, and I could hear the shout from out of the door, which was probably Tom himself, screaming at the number 45 car, nearly contact as they head back down the hill. Wow, it's hotting up out there. I mean, it's still much cooler in here than it is out there, I can tell you. As Jimmy Broadbent called it earlier, the sweat box outside where all of the rigs are. But what a great event we've had so far, everybody. I'm sure you'll all agree this has been a hell of a lot of fun. It's been lovely to have so many great people in the commentary box with me, and I've managed to get absolutely shameless selfies with all of them as they've jumped in so far, joined by Tom Brooks in the early stages, then Harry Benjamin, Gordy Much and Tom Gaymore, then also Tom from F1 TV. I didn't get a selfie with him in the end. I'm actually gutted, I forgot. I'm so sorry, but these interviews and things fly by very quickly. I'll have to get a selfie with him just later on, as I'm sure a lot of people will stick around to the venue and make sure that there's a good old debrief after this, because I tell you, some of these lot are going to need it. But I hope you're all enjoying the show. Honestly, it's been a joy to put this together so far. I say that like I've done a lot. I've just sat here and spoke nonsense into your ears for over an hour and a half now. We are 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes away from the end of the race. I cannot believe how quickly that has gone as well. Don't forget, you can donate via that QR code in the top right of the screen. There are also the amazing prizes to be bid on, which is on the Young Epilepsy website as well. There's things like tailored broadcasting sessions with Chris McCarthy. There's an entire sim rig, which is going to be signed by all of the team leaders that you see in this event today. We even have Northampton Saints and Coventry rugby tickets. There's Isaac Hadjar's undertop from Formula 2. Even some hand-embellished canvas artworks from Paul Oz, and a Roman Belinsky race suit as well. There's so much more on top of that. Go and have a look on the Young Epilepsy website and you'll see all of the amazing prizes that you can bid on there. The auctions for those finish on Sunday, so you've got plenty of time to still get your bids in. But it's absolutely awesome what they're all doing so far. And hats off to everyone involved. Hats off to Chris and Young Epilepsy, the charity, doing an epic job. Right now on our screens we have the number 1 car of Team Dendy, 5 laps down on the car ahead of them, side by side with car 45, Team Epps. Mike is a regular at Will's Simply Race Classics events, so I'm sure they won't be too scared of firing each other off the track at some point. If it's both of them behind the wheel, that is. It's one of the beautiful things of this, is we don't know who is behind the wheel of each car. I think Dendy's just gone flying off the road in the background as well, actually, at the old hairpin at the bottom. But Team Epps currently making it nice and tidily through McLean's, up towards Coppice, And there's been a penalty for Team Hadjar from 5th position. Isaac Hadjar's team getting a penalty now. So that will drop them down, although Team Benjamin are a lap behind them, so a decent gap for them to absorb that penalty into. Depends on how long that goes on for, of course, whether it's a drive-through or whether it's a stop and go. I'm pretty sure it's drive-through penalties that are being given out. There's no sort of time penalties that are being put on. Megan Mansell, thank you very much for the £50, and our own Ryan Gill as well, £10 from Ryan. Thank you very much indeed, mate. Puts our total now up to £5,375. Hats off again to Ryan for doing the broadcasting here and the directing of this race broadcast for you all. He's been showing us the pictures when we need to see them, as there's contact off screen with Mansell and Brooks. They've just had a big coming together down the hill, and Team Mansell second place in this race, hoping not to fall by the wayside too much. Certainly getting amongst it with the lap traffic. Wow, they're really throwing it around, aren't they, at this moment in time? But Joseph Loke's team making an example of this at the minute, opening up that gap even further now due to the dramas that have befallen car number 33. So a quick recap: it's Loke, Mansell, Broadbent up into 3rd place, Much, Hadjar, Benjamin, O'Sullivan, Daz, Gaymore and Epps. Thanks very much to Simon for donating £25 to the stream. Your generosity is much appreciated. We've now hit £5,400 raised for young epilepsy here at Setting Purple Sectors. You're listening to the tones of Chaz Draycott here in the commentary box, enjoying myself thoroughly being part of this event. I've had some great company throughout this broadcast, and we've had some mighty fine interviews and interviewees as this has gone on. Let's not forget as well, I actually had Jimmy Broadbent in for a little bit earlier on as well. He's another one I actually didn't get a selfie with, but to be fair, I already did the fangirling thing and pestered him for a selfie earlier on as soon as he arrived at the venue. Obviously, that's what you've got to do with these people. So Team Loke at the moment are still flying, but we look here at Gordy Much's team. Gordy told us he was going to be the last driver in the car, so it's very likely that this is him now behind the wheel. Gordy, an accomplished racing driver himself. He's been racing in GT4s and raced with Jimmy Broadbent actually in the Praga Cup, which they won. Did an incredible job there, winning that championship title. I remember when they won their first race as well. I was actually on the PA commentary at Snetterton when they won their first race together. It was an epic moment, and then obviously they've gone on to win championships since then. It's just epic, absolutely epic stuff. We've got yellow flags being thrown.
Back again for what is going to be the final time. Only a few minutes left of the race, but we're going to chat to some of the people around and about, and I'm hoping to grab a word with this man over here with very, very pink hair. I'm sorry to interrupt the conversation. Can I interrupt the conversation? Sorry, Jimmy. We've already... Izzy got to chat to you earlier, but I haven't had a chance to chat. Jimmy, first of all, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been an amazing event. Great to have you down. It must be pretty cool. Of course, you've known Chris for a long time, and he's got you down. It must be pretty cool to be part of the event.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I've known Chris for a long, long time now, and I've you wouldn't guess he suffered with epilepsy himself, would you? And then it's one of those things where you don't really realise that it's not obvious. So it's always a pleasure to come out and do something good, especially for Chris as well. So.
Amazing, yeah, he's an absolute legend. He helps out so many people. He's helped me out along with Izzy and a lot of the other people. But most importantly, of course, the team. Talk to us about the race.
Yeah, I mean, we basically cheated.
Sorry, say that again.
We just bought our laps back. We were like 8 laps down, something like that. So it's good to throw some money in the pot for charity.
Absolutely.
So, we do better.
Motorsport would be a lot easier if you could just buy speed.
I mean, that is what motorsport is, isn't it?
Well, actually, you know what, Jimmy? Let's not go there right now. This is a fun, family-friendly event.
Yeah.
But anyway, talk to us about, of course, everyone knows who you are, but things are going really well for you at the moment. 952k, getting towards the cool mill. We're feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I sort of stopped focusing on the numbers a while ago now because it drives you nuts to do that. But the amount of cool stuff that's come from that, driving at the ring, driving in Praga, driving in Time Attack, it's been a pleasure to do it all. So it's always cool to see people react to that.
Was the buying of laps mostly fueled by the fact that your Praga winning teammate Gordy Much was getting very close to being ahead of you?
Yeah, couldn't have that, could we?
Absolutely not.
Not after we had our own race at the weekend and he beat us there. So
oh no,
he can't beat us now.
Yeah, of course. Just to tell us a little bit about that. It was 23 hour, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's our race of mental health. We hold it annually, and yeah, massive success. We raised over 100 grand for it. So
wow, great job.
Yeah, really happy with that, and hopefully we can bring some of that money-raising magic here today as well.
Jimmy, you can sprinkle the money-raising dust because we're at what we're £5,400. Of course, we aim was £15,000. We've got a lot of auction items. If you're on Tiltify, you'll see a lot of the items. There's a race suit. There's a sim rig available over there, worth fair market price, 1,500 quid. You can get a steal on that. And also, if you can donate, of course, we'd love to get over 5,500 before the end of the race. Jimmy, thank you so much for catching up with us. Thank you very much for being here.
Hey, cheers, Piers. Appreciate
No worries. Right, let's wander on. I reckon we got time for one more. Peter James, one more. All right. Okay, let's just do one quick one. Who shall we grab? One quick one. Will Dendy. I'm getting in my... Right, he's right behind me. Mr. Will Dendy, or Will Bendy, as he has been in this race.
Sendy.
Will Bendy. Will, of course, you've been part of the team Young Epilepsy. They've been driving excellently. Honestly, I haven't seen them make a mistake, and yet, through your mistakes, you're well down the field.
Yeah, I mean, I started out off strong. Started P11, up to P3, back down to P15, and then the team have carried me ever since.
Rubbish. Anyway, Will, I hope you've enjoyed the event. I think for the final time, we're going to hand over to Izzy Browning, who's going to chat to someone else from Young Epilepsy.
Thanks, Piers. We are now coming towards the end of the evening. Sorry about that. We are now coming towards the end of the evening. I'm joined by Neil Colnow, motorsport presenter. Neil, you have a very special reason as to why you're here tonight. Just let us know what that is.
Yes, is this one working? No.
You take that one.
Okay. It's a charity and a subject that's very close to my heart. A very close family friend. We lost Maisie Tothill at 22 years old. It must be about 5 years ago now, and it was a sudden thing. She'd been diagnosed and was doing her best to manage the epilepsy, but she went to sleep one night and didn't wake up, and it tore several families and lots of her friends' lives apart, and they're only really just sort of healing now, and they never fully heal. But so Maisie Tothill, in her memory, her family set up a foundation, which is an epilepsy charity called the Maisie Tothill Foundation. And they do a lot of work. They raise a lot of money, but they also do a lot of lobbying. They sort of speak to politicians, try and raise awareness to make it more of a topic that gets raised to the top of the agendas, but also raising funds like we are tonight is very, very important. The world is a horrible place. There are children, young people, and people dying all around the world for reasons that we can't help. Bombs, bullets, whatever. But this is something that we can do something about. So, if you're watching at home, you can donate, you can put money in the pot, but also spread the word that this is something that we need more research, we need more awareness, and hopefully events like this, which are great fun, are a way to spread that word.
And from the charity, from the foundation that Maisie's family set up, how much of an impact have they seen?
Well, it's really good. I think so far they've raised over £100,000, but they do a lot of work, lobbying, speaking to members of parliament, speaking to key figures, and just trying to keep the word out there, trying to continue to raise awareness, which is very important. But it's not easy. It's a very noisy place out there. Lots of charities we'd love to help all the time. So every now and again, it's good to just kind of raise epilepsy to the top of the agenda. And someone like Chris is a brilliant example of someone who has dealt with it, is dealing with it, and who is, his life and his career have suffered, but he has found a way to, counteract that. So very proud to help him and be here to support him and the charity tonight.
And you obviously felt very strongly about coming down here tonight. Of course, we can understand why with the close personal connection to this cause. Just what have you thought of tonight's event and how we use motorsport going forward to spread this message?
Well, the event's been brilliant. My stint, half of my stint was under the safety car, or Code 60 as I now know it's called. And when I was racing, I wasn't great. But the event itself, there's so much sort of bonhomie. And as we're getting to the closing stages of the race, donate money to Team Brooks, because that's my team. And if you can get us up the leaderboard buying us a few laps, then that would be very useful. Obviously, it raises awareness, but really, we want to win as well. That's the great thing about this, is that coming together with a purpose. Everyone here is having a great time. There's loads of people that haven't seen each other before, people meeting people for the first time. And it's a beautiful thing to see so many. When I turned up, I got here bang on time, and I thought it's just going to be building, it's going to be quiet. It was rammed already, and the atmosphere was buzzing. So when Chris does another one of these, make sure you come along, because it's an essential thing to be part of. If you like motorsport and you like charity, just come.
Yeah, you touched a little bit there on the impact that we're seeing tonight, of course, of the donations. I can just say that Jimmy Broadbent, who we had earlier on the show, has just donated £1,000 to our cause. So that money will be so well spent, and it's such a fantastic cause. It's been a real honour to be here tonight, and an honour to have you with us sharing Maisie's story. Just briefly for the viewers at home, what can people watching do right now?
Well, right now, if you want to go to the Maisie Tothill Foundation, it's very easy to find online and donate, but also just let, her parents know that you care, that you're aware of their work and anything they can do. But they work for other epilepsy charities. They are raising funds and awareness for the wider picture. These aren't charities that are in competition. So, if you can donate to Young Epilepsy, if you can make contact with the Maisie Tothill Foundation on all the socials, do that. Just say hello. But ultimately, just by watching this, you're making a difference, but also give us some money.
Great to end on that message, of course, because the funds that we do raise tonight, of course, help so many people out there, and we really are so grateful for Simply Race for helping us to put on tonight's event, but of course Chris McCarthy as well for putting together this event. We really couldn't do it without him. And Neil, we're so grateful for you to come down and share your story and get involved with the fun. Now, the race itself is nearly over. Okay, so we are going to let you go and watch the last remaining laps of the race, and we're also going to let our viewers at home watch the last remaining laps of this race. So you have seen him before, you've heard his voice a lot all night. We are going to pass back to Chaz Draycott in the commentary box to round out tonight's race.
Anonymous donation of £10 as well. Thank you so much, wherever you may be around the world. We do appreciate you. £6,570. I've just heard a huge shout outside the door. Somebody's had a moment or something. Not quite sure what's gone on there, but yeah, they've had some sort of drama, whether it be contact or self-implied. Can't even speak English at this point. We're only 4 minutes from the end of this race, and I can tell you that the buzz and the noise from outside the commentary box has not stopped throughout. It has been constant. It's only going to get louder as well as the race comes to its conclusion. Team Brooks now down in 14th place. Yeah, last in the commentary race, as Ryan's rightly pointed out, yeah. Tom will not be happy with that. Oh, dearie me, and it goes from bad to worse. This will be Tom, actually, surely, in the car. Oh, Brooksy. Oh, dearie me. Oh, I hope that's him. I really hope that's him. This is going on the show reel. Whoa. Team Much there in second place having an absolute panic attack behind the wheel. My voice even broke there. Dom Bessel, thank you very much, Dom, for £10 donated as well. Really do appreciate it all, guys. You're putting in a fantastic effort now. Right, at the end as well. £3,900 donated by Simply Race earlier today, which is just incredible stuff. That's not to say that we appreciate your £10 donations any less, everybody. Anything you can give is hugely appreciated. Like we've been saying, to your means, whatever it may be, give what you can. There is no obligation. We are absolutely over the moon with whatever you can send to the charity. Team Loke probably have 2 laps left of this race. It's just over a minute per lap here. 105.146, the fastest lap of the race so far, set by this team. Only a few laps ago as well. And this F4 TB14 car. has certainly been put through its paces. It's a great looking bit of kit as well. It's a very simple looking Formula car. Very, very lovely to look at race car. 18.9 seconds the current lead for them as well, so they don't have to push too much in these final moments. And we'll have to keep our eyes on whether there are any podium battles in the final moments. Have to see what comes our way in terms of any final position changes. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be Team Loke that are going to take this one. Car number 36, Gordy Much's team, running well in second place at the moment. And car 33, Christian Mansell, joined us at the start of the stream. It was great to have him commentating with me for a little bit. Another anonymous £20 donation. Thank you so much. Puts us up to a total of £6,600. And no, it's not that I can't read. It's just that there's a £1,000 donation that's gone under the radar. We might actually get 2 more laps as of this point, because it's 1 minute and 25 seconds to the flag. And Team Loke are coming into the pits here. Wow, this is a very, very late stop. And it looks like they're going to pull over into a pit box as well. Wow, goodness me. Are they going to get one driver to do the last 2 laps, or are they taking new front tyres? That car went up on the jacks. Here's Gordy Much's car round the final corner to cross the line. And this is going to be the beginning of the final lap. They now take the lead as well, right at the death. Can you believe that? There's a big laugh out of the window. I don't know who that was or what they were laughing at. But, oh, it was a penalty for Joseph Loke's team. So Gordy Much has stolen this right at the death from them. Can you believe it? They're all going to be shouting fix out here because he bought laps and he works here. He works at the venue. Oh, it's absolutely shameless from Team Much. Can you believe it? Oh, it's unreal, this. Oh, and Loke's having a drama. Loke is having a big drama in the background, I can tell you. They've gone off Kelvin Burt style off at the old hairpin. Recovering back on the circuit now. They've dropped down to 3rd position. Mansell takes 2nd place. That's not a phrase I thought I'd ever say in my career. Wow. No relation, by the way. But into the final corner, wherever you may be around the world, if you are in chat, please give us some clap emojis, because Team Much win the Set in Purple Sectors event here at Simply Race for Young Epilepsy. Car 57 takes the checkered flag and wins the race. Car 33, Christian Mansell and his team take 2nd position. Very well done to them. And then 3rd place is going to go the way of Team Joseph Loke. He's cut the final chicane for good measure one more time. And across the line he goes. Jimmy Broadbent's team are going to finish in 4th place. Next up it's going to be Team Isaac Hadjar in car 09. Team O'Sullivan will finish in 6th position, 1 lap down. Harry Benjamin's team in 7th place. Team Cameron Daz was next up, ahead of Jones, Epps, Gaymore, Turkington, Rankin, Brooks and Sendy Dendy down in 15th position. I can tell you, everybody, that the buzz has just got even louder now outside the door. And we'll wait on confirmation just to see what the next step will be, whether here on the race broadcast we continue on, or whether we have any interviews or anything to do. Another anonymous donation of £100 comes in. Thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate it. Wow, what a great event though. We'll have some B-roll for a little bit. I'll continue to warble, and we honestly hope, everybody, that you've enjoyed this event. It's been great fun to put this on. And of course we've had the 2 streams as well, so hopefully you can go back and watch both of them. We've had the race show here with me, Chaz Draycott.
Thrilling end to the race, drama at the end there. Thank you, Chaz, for guiding us through the race, doing an excellent job. And I'm hopefully going to grab a word with our winning team. Team Much, come on over. Team Much, Gordy, come on over. Bring your team with you, bring your teammates. It wasn't a solo effort, of course. Everyone come over. What an effort. It took it right to the wire, but I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what an event. It's the most packed and the most lively I've ever seen Simply Race. It's for a great cause. Looks like
you were trying hard out there. I can feel the heat radiating off your body.
I'm sweating. Luckily, this isn't my shirt. because it's I wouldn't show my armpits because they are quite sweaty. Yeah, I was chasing down Luke. I mean, Luke is he's really fast. He's too fast. So we had our work cut out, but the boys done a great job. You show the
Come on in. Who have we got?
We got Chadwick. Oh, come on.
Hello.
Everyone introduce.
Everyone in. Who have we got here? You're wearing a Porsche T-shirt.
Chadwick, William Chadwick.
Another esports driver.
Well, sorry, yeah, but we did a good donation to charity and we won the race, and that was really important.
That is the most important. And yourself?
I'm James. I'm amateur.
Clearly a very good amateur.
Well, I tried. I kept it on the track at least anyway, so Gordy said.
And also I have my boss here, Luke. How was that?
It was all right, yeah. It was good fun. Just kept it on the black stuff. That's all we had to do.
Of course, Luke. Luke was the outstanding driver, of course. Please pay me this month. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for providing excellent entertainment. What should everyone at home do right now?
You should donate to Young Epilepsy right now.
Right now, it's very easy. You can look at the QR code on the side of the screen. Literally, which side is it? That's no. There, just there. Yeah, you can QR code. It's really easy. You just go on your phone, put it in, gift aid if you can, and then also, yeah, there you go. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the help. If you can't donate, no problem at all. Maybe share the stream so that maybe some of your friends can donate. Congratulations. I'm going to grab a word with Team Loke, who unfortunately just missed out. Where's Team Loke? Where's Team Loke? Team Loke? Clearly that Team Loke. Joseph.
Hello, mate.
What was that strategy? What was some of the bit stuff on the last lap?
Well, we kind of knew that the best chance we had was to give John as the least amount of time, and this was agreed by him before anyone.
Because he's terrible.
You said it.
I did. John is. We sent GB3 and 4 together. Very good presenter. Terrible driver.
Yeah, well, he's working on it. He's work in progress, and I think he showed a lot of potential.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, for sure. But it was a good race. I think we optimised our strategy the best we could.
Unfortunately, just so close so far.
Yeah, it ended up being a lot further than we thought it would. Obviously, we got a drive-through penalty as well for speeding in the pits, but we had to try everything, didn't we? And we had a good fun. So yeah.
Had good fun, and of course, I've seen the family Loke. I think Mama Loke was on there donating.
Did she donate?
I believe so. I think I saw Mama Loke up earlier on. So wave hello to Mum.
Hi, Mum.
There you go.
I hope you're having a good evening, and I'm sorry I'm not at home.
There you go. Exactly. She'll be home safe and sound soon. But anyway, Joseph, thanks for providing the entertainment. Thank you for providing family donations. If you haven't donated already, please do so. If you have any money, I don't know if 19-year-olds, do you have money? I don't know.
I've got millions in the bank.
Of course, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Joseph, thanks very much. Where are the rest of your team?
I've got a couple.
Talk to me. How was your stint? What's your name?
Riley Bishop.
How was your stint?
It went well. We were leading, and then I made minor mistakes, and we dropped down a little bit. It was about 10 seconds ahead of the second, and then coming down the hill into the flat left, and I hit the apex too much and just flipped me.
You flipped it? Yeah. Kick flipped a Formula 4 car?
Yeah, it was so
impressive.
I know, it was like a glitch, but it is what it is. We done well.
And we've raised a lot of money. How are we at? £5,700 and something now. So we're hoping by the end of the stream we can push it to £6,000. So have you got any friends, anyone watching at home?
There should be some family members and my team also watching as well.
Anyone at home? If you haven't already, you know what to do. QR code is right there. So you can scan that with your phone. Easily done. If you are a UK taxpayer as well, then you can tick that gift aid, get a little bit of extra boost from the government because it's a worthwhile cause.
Exactly. It's a charity you should be going for.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for chatting to us. Well done in the race. Close, but not quite close enough. I want to draw our attention once again to not the pizza, not the copious amounts of canned beverages, but the amazing array of items that are up for auction on Tiltify as well. So if you follow that link or the QR code, you'll see many, many items. You've got worn race suit from Roman Belinsky. You've got Isaac Hadjar's Red Bull sponsored race worn and signed fireproof underwear. You've got canvases, you've got hats, you've got memorabilia. From Colin Turkington, Mike Epps, you've got some amazing motorsport artwork there as well. And of course, let's not forget, Simply Race, not only have they donated a huge amount, hosted us this evening, but they've also donated a whole simulator rig, which is currently blocked by some people. However, they are donating a whole sim rig. Of course, auction on that, you'll get an absolutely good deal, and even if you don't get the sim rig, then you will have donated a lot of money. I'm going to squeeze through past Christian Mansell and co. and hopefully hand our way very, very shortly over to, why don't we walk over there and we can introduce it. Brilliant, brilliant evening. I've really enjoyed myself. Hopefully everyone at home has as well. Let's hopefully they'll catch my eye, because we're nearly ready to close the show. Why don't we grab one last interview? Who haven't I spoken to yet? I'm just going to squeeze through here. Sorry, team. Alex Goldschmidt. Alex, you haven't been partaking this evening, but you've been here for the vibes and very much enjoying taking it all in.
Well, I mean, the amount of guffaws and big inserts of breath when people were going off track, but that's the whole point. We're here to raise money for a great cause, and shout out to Chris. I've known Chris for quite a time. I mean, he was one that I've got to be thankful for my career, but also to support him on this charitable cause, and great to see the donations come in. I think it's over £5,700.
Yeah, we're so close to 6,000, so if you can, at home, anyone, if you can, just a little bit more, a little bit of a push. We'd love to see £6,000 before the show closes.
Definitely. Get your wallets out, everybody.
If you can, of course. We know everyone might not be in a position. Alex, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Who else can I grab a word with before we finish? Why don't I grab a quick word with Lewis and Darren and Lewis. Of course, you're sporting the Young Epilepsy T-shirts. Just talk to us about your involvement in Young Epilepsy. Darren, I'll start with you.
Okay, yeah, I mean, Lewis has had epilepsy for a couple of years, and Young Epilepsy were absolutely amazing in terms of helping the family and just really coming into our lives at a point when Lewis was facing some fairly significant challenges. And just through Lewis being able to talk to somebody about his condition, who understands it, etc., was just really, really helpful. And yeah, they've been absolutely amazing for us.
I bet it's an amazing, it's to have someone to lean on as a parent, because of course you want to support Lewis. Lewis will chat to you in a moment, but to have someone that you can back you up as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just great just to have somebody who listens to you, understands it, little bits of advice, which is just really great as a family. And then to get the opportunity to come to an event like tonight, it's just been absolutely brilliant. And
let's start with that, Lewis. Of course, Lewis, you don't often get to drive many things, but this evening you've been absolutely loving it. I've seen you on the sim smashing around with a big smile on your face.
Yeah. It's great to have a chance to do things like this, even if I'm not able to do it in real life.
But it's a really cool experience. And, talk to us about your involvement in Young Epilepsy. I know they've helped you a lot.
Yeah, so just when this new thing called epilepsy came into my life, we had no idea what it was. And I just hit a low point of we didn't know where to go. And then Young Epilepsy, we heard of Young Epilepsy, and they stepped in. And that, yeah.
It's amazing.
Really brought me so far. It's
amazing to hear. It's why it's such a worthwhile cause. Of course, I think it's 100,000 young people that have epilepsy in the UK alone, and it's amazing that we've got a charity such as Young Epilepsy, and it does a huge amount. So again, reminder, if you can, it would be amazing if we could have some donations in. Of course, you can either donate or there are some auctions as well. But Lewis, Darren, thank you so much for chatting to us. We hope you've enjoyed the evening.
We have. It's been amazing. He's been setting some really fast laps as well.
I have seen. Yeah. Have you enjoyed your evening?
I have, definitely. And honestly, I think without Young Epilepsy, I wouldn't be the person I am.
It's amazing.
I am today.
That's amazing to hear. Lewis, thank you so much for chatting with us. It's really good to hear how much Young Epilepsy does to people like yourself. And we hopefully see you in the simulator again soon.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right. I think we're pretty much ready to hand over to close the show. Izzy Browning, of course, is going to be closing that show. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Simply Race, of course, Chaz Draycott in the commentary box, and I'll hand over to Izzy and Chris McCarthy, who are going to close tonight's stream. Thank you so much for being involved.
And thank you to Piers as well. A huge shout out to Piers, who has been running around all evening. He's going to sleep well tonight. I am joined once again by Chris McCarthy. It was only right to bring Chris back on for the end of the show as we wind down this fantastic event. Chris, you must be pretty overwhelmed at the moment.
Absolutely. I mean, what an event. It's been amazing to see everyone here. I've spent the most of the evening just speaking to everyone about their experience, about the event, what they now feel about epilepsy and motorsport. and what brought them to be here at the event as well. And everyone has been so invested in the event, so passionate about the event, and more than anything been enjoying themselves as well. And that's what we want to see, people enjoying themselves, people having a good time, people catching up with friends, and that's been one of the best things for me. Our Team Young Epilepsy have had a really good time as well, particularly the Youth Voice Network. We've given them the experience of racing against some familiar voices, some familiar faces, and some drivers that they were once watching from the grandstands, and now they have had the chance to race with them. And so, yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and the race went down to the last lap, so I don't think we could ask for more there.
Yeah, definitely. It was an amazing race to go alongside an amazing event, and it has really been such a special night. We've heard so many insightful stories. I've been sat here all evening listening to incredible stories, and so many people just talking about how much they wanted to be here tonight to support you mostly, which is amazing, and to support the Young Epilepsy charity. So that must be really heartwarming for you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that aerial shot really shows you that we have a packed room, even at the end. Some people sadly had to nip off, but there you can see that's what we have here tonight. So many people going out their way up here to Milton Keynes to come for not just a race but to support a cause, and everyone's already been asking me about next year. So and I think the charity were overwhelmed as well by the event. They had never hosted something like this or even considered it. Esports and epilepsy, yeah, let's go for it. But I think they were very overwhelmed by the turnout and support they received. And definitely the Youth Voice Network members have been to a lot of events with the charity, but they haven't quite experienced something like this before, and they've absolutely loved it. I've loved it as well. I did not expect such a turnout, I'll be honest, but I didn't expect such an atmosphere, such positivity, and yeah, it's been really overwhelming, to be honest. The amount of support we've received, both from people watching and from people within the room, and I just couldn't be more grateful for everyone for investing in this event, be it from the live stream or from people turning out here to Milton Keynes this evening, going out their way to support this. So yeah, I just a huge thanks, and as well to the team as well, who are here from 10 o'clock this morning. Alpha Live, Simply Race as well, the guys at Young Epilepsy, all here from 10 o'clock this morning, getting set up, ready to go for this. So yeah, I couldn't be more grateful to everyone for making this event happen.
Yeah, it's been an absolutely fantastic evening. We have had a super enjoyable time. And of course, we've also raised a lot of money tonight for a fantastic charity. And as well as our donations, we've also had the auction, which I believe is something that you are going to get involved with now.
Yeah, absolutely. I've commentated on Roman Belinsky for a long time. He's been a massive supporter of this event. He kindly donated his race suit. Roman Belinsky introduced us to Paul Oz as well. I have to, while I'm here, say a huge thanks to Paul Oz. He's the artist who has kindly donated the embellished canvas, which is worth £1,500. Paul suffered with epilepsy as a child. That you can place your bids on. I think a bid has gone in of about 1,000. But I am going to bid for Roman Belinsky's race suit. 500 quid is the minimum bid. So I'm going in for that. If you want to see, I'm going to go in for Roman Belinsky's race suit. I commentated on Roman in Freca for the last 3 years. He's going into FIA Formula 3 next year, so I think I might see him a bit next year as well. And I've known him since he was in karting. So let's get this bid. Let's get this bid in. For typing with one hand is a little bit more difficult.
I'll let you get on with the bid.
I think that bid should go in now, and I'm going to bid for Roman Belinsky's race suit. So if you're watching, Roman, thank you very much. Successful notification is up. Thank you very much for your support of this event. He did send us a video. I couldn't be here. I know he's testing, but thank you for your support, and I'm looking to hopefully have your race suit.
Yeah, thank you very much, Roman, for sending us that video. And I think we're going to see it now.
Hi guys, it's Rom here. Just wanted to say I'm really sorry I can't be there tonight. I wish you all the best for the evening and hope it all goes well. I love what you're all doing there, raising awareness for young people with epilepsy. It's something I've spoken a bit with Chris about, and I think also he's done an amazing job with sharing his story, and now with what you're doing tonight. So no, I wish you all the best. I also know myself what it's like to overcome a challenge, and I mean, this year I broke my back, and so 3 months later I had to jump back in the car, and it's very painful, and even now it's painful. So yeah, no, like I said, I wish you all a really good evening, and I hope one lucky person wins the suit.
Yeah, thank you, Roman, for sending us that fantastic video and just telling us a bit more about why we're all here tonight. Fantastic to hear from him. Chris, we're actually going to get a little podium in a few moments as well. So the race might have ended, but the action doesn't end, because we are going to get that podium in a few moments' time, and that'll be really nice to see that.
Yeah, I know Piers is out there. We may hear from... I know he's been out there all night. It's just great to see, but we're going to have the podium. A podium which changed right at the end, on the last lap as well. So it'd be good to get the podium finishers up here and celebrate that. So, yeah, really looking forward to seeing them come up here and celebrate this evening.
Okay, well, Piers, you have treated us very kindly all night, and now you are going to treat us once more to a podium.
Right, that's it. I mean, we've heard from Chris and Izzy, of course. We're going to mop up some of the stragglers who are still here waiting for the podium, and then hopefully bring you that podium ceremony. We can see Gordy Much just in the background there, still high-fiving everyone, still very happy about his win. Clearly, clear to Gordy and his team, winning was the most important. But we've made a lot of good money along the way, and hopefully we've raised some awareness about, of course, young epilepsy. This Setting Purple Sectors event has been really, really great to be a part of. Why don't we bring in Chaz Drake, our commentator, Chaz. Chaz, I unfortunately, because I was busy setting up all of our fun bits and pieces in between, I didn't get to hear about a huge amount about the race. Talk to us about your highlights.
All of it. It was great. It was good fun. At the end of the day, you know, everyone here has got a smile on their face.
Absolutely.
The race was chaotic, but in a really, I don't know, because you know how light-hearted the event is, you know that people aren't going to be out here arguing. I was the other side of that door in the commentary box, loving life, because every time a car spun round, I could hear some form of reaction from in here. And you don't often get that when you're commentating on sim racing, because everybody's in their own rig, in their own houses. So the unique selling point of Simply Race is what brought this to life so much today, is having everyone in the same room. It's been epic.
It has genuinely been. The atmosphere in here has been electric. I've never seen it as busy. We chatted to Gordy Much just after the race. He said, you know, I've never seen Simply Race as busy as this, and it's great to see so many motorsport personalities and enthusiasts just in one place, sharing the love of motorsport, and also for an excellent cause, raising some money and awareness. You know, we're so close to £6,000 now raised just this evening. So, of course, those auctions are still up until Sunday to get yourself some cool stuff.
Cool is an understatement.
Oh, very, very
epic stuff. It's amazing. Really amazing.
Brilliant. So, yeah, it's been an amazing event, amazing atmosphere. Everything's winding down. We're just building up to that final podium. I think it's going to happen in the next couple of minutes. I'm hearing some tickles in my ears with things going on. Chaz, you know, sim racing is also something that people with epilepsy can do. We've had the Young Epilepsy team. Some of those have been talking about, you know, I don't get to drive normally, but this has been a really cool experience as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to give people the opportunity, and that's what sim racing does. You know, everybody has always said that karting is the only way into motorsport. Sim racing has shown that it can be that as well. And all the way down to just driving a car, it can give you so many opportunities to just do things that in, you know, the real world that you might not be able to outside of the sim. And to, again, do that in company with each other here tonight has just been so cool. You can't put it into words.
You really can't. And also, you know, let's remind ourselves of some of the amazing work that Young Epilepsy does with another story from someone who's been helped by Young Epilepsy.
My name is Cash and I have focal epilepsy. Before I have a seizure, my legs go funny and I also get this weird taste in my mouth. I usually get really hot and then sweat up a lot, so I have to they bring a fan in the room so it can cool me down a bit. The seizures last around 5 to 10 minutes. Afterwards, I usually get really tired. I tend to sleep for around 2 to 3 hours. I really like surfing, skateboarding, paddleboarding and playing football. When I score a goal, it just makes me really happy. Last season I scored 7 goals. So when school finished in the Easter holidays, there was this football camp, but they wouldn't take anybody with epilepsy, so I wasn't allowed to join the camp. It made me feel really angry and annoyed because all my friends could go but me. My name is Cash. Understand my epilepsy?
Okay, everybody, well done to all of our teams that took part today. It is time for the podium ceremony. Now, one team at a time is going to come up. We're going to clap for that team, and then they're going to vacate, and then the next team will come up. So in third place, a big round of applause. It did cost them £1,000. To Team Broadbent. Well done, Team Broadbent.
Get medals out for you. Let's do it, let's do it. I should have got these one at a time, really, shouldn't I? Oh, there we go, guys. There we go, guys. We can go full Olympics. Full in one player. There we go. There we go. Well done.
Thank you.
I forgot I'm being filmed. There you go. There you go.
That's not real.
There you go. Well done for Team Broadbent, guys. If you guys want to stay around, we'll do a group one at the end, so stay near.
Well done, everybody in Team Broadbent. Now, moving on to second place. They begged and begged and begged us to put them back in P2 at one point, and then they ended up getting there. So, well done to Team Mansell.
Yeah, a good one. Well done, guys. Well done.
Oh,
amazing.
I don't think there's ever been anything as good as this in my entire career.
They're better than the
Thanks, Mike.
They are better than the camera team. Let's do that. There you go. Well done. Well, we'll get you a team photo, guys.
Good to go.
Right, yeah. Well done, guys. Well done, guys.
See you at the next race.
Well, stay there. We're going to do a group one. Well done to Team Mansell.
Big well done to everybody in Team Mansell. And now taking the race victory in one of the most dramatic final minutes of a race you will ever see. A big round of applause. Quiet, Jimmy. Big round of applause for Team Merch. Well done.
Well done. Where is it? I'll put it up for you. There you go. There you go, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. You gotta do a Broadbent. Go for it, man. Go for it.
So look this way for me.
Cool. Well, we'll get all the top 3 teams up for a sec. Well, a round of applause for our winners, please. We'll get the podium finishers up. I'm going to jump in with you guys.
Okay.
Everyone get rather friendly really quickly because this is a very tight screen.
I feel really like the odd one out right now.
And lastly, big round of applause for Chris for helping organise everything. Just a massive thanks to everyone for.
You've got a microphone.
I think if I shout into that, the viewers might hate me. No, just a massive thanks to everyone for coming down and being part of this. Honestly, when I put this forward as an idea, I did not expect this many people to be in the room for this. Epilepsy and motorsport, in the same sentence, you would usually not put together. So I just have to say a huge thanks to everyone for coming out. Epilepsy restricted my career as a motorsport, as a driver, but it did not restrict me from having a career. Tonight we've given the Youth Voice Network members racing with Will Dendy the most fantastic experience, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to race against all of you this evening. That's something that they're going to never forget. They'll carry that with them for the rest of their lives. Not only that, but we've raised over 7,000, I think just over £7,500 for people like that. So thank you very much to all of you for donating. That's going to help the charity working with young people who struggle with epilepsy, which is a daily struggle. I can say that on behalf of myself, who I struggle with it every single day, and it is something that the charity work with people who struggle with it every single day. But thanks to your donations, that's going to help a growing charity like Young Epilepsy now help young people who struggle with this a little bit more moving forward. And thank you very much for being part of this. We will look next year to set purple sectors again for young people with epilepsy. So thank you very much, and thank you for coming. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much as well to you, the viewer at home. Of course, there's been very many thank yous here tonight, but of course the biggest one going to Chris, as we just heard from him there. Thank you to Simply Race for letting us hold the event here tonight, as well as Alpha Live, all our team leaders and all the participants that came down to Milton Keynes to set purple sectors. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.